From the Mitchell Athletic Complex in Uniondale, New York, the ECC Network presents the East Coast Conference Baseball Championships. Today, it's Championship Saturday. A rainy day began the day very wet and rainy, and they're back and on the field, ready to go. Fortunately, we have the turf field here, but taking on number 1 seed St. Thomas Aquinas at 35-13, and they'll be playing the number 2 seed Molloy College Lions at 31-20. Well, hi everyone, I'm Scott Green alongside my partner Sean Okula, and Stack's road to the championship took 2 games, Bridgeport and LIU Post. Little more travel for Molloy. They lost to LIU Post in the opening round, then had to come back yesterday, defeat Bridgeport and Post, in which they put up a record 42 hits in one day. Previous meeting, Sean, 4-0. They have not yet beaten St. Thomas Aquinas. How do they translate those hits, that hitting attack, the hot bats, into today?
Well, I mean, you talked about the 42 hits. You're talking about a 500 batting average for the team yesterday. Again, it's hard to transfer that momentum as we go day to day, especially against a stacked pitching staff that has just been impeccable all season long. Leads the ECC with the sub-4 ERA, only team in the conference with the team ERA below 4. So it's just about working those at-bats and getting the big hits. They couldn't find that big hit against James Varela of LIU Post on Thursday, but they were able to get their bats going, get runners on base, and most importantly, drive them in once they were there.
Well, when you talk about hits, it really starts for Molloy with a 3-time first-team all-conference player, and Angelo Nevada. He leads this Lions offense.
And I'll tell you what, Angelo Nevada has one of the sweetest swings you will ever see. Over the course of the tournament, his hits have come in, not necessarily in droves, but has spread them out a little bit. A hit in Game 1, a hit in Game 2, and 2 in Game 3, and that last one against Post yesterday. But the big hit in the first inning of Game 2, their second game against Bridgeport, a 2-run triple down the right field line, then added an RBI double and 3 ribbies yesterday in the second game. So he is just such a sweet swinger. Not only that, I've also been impressed by his defense down at first base, too, making the picks. He's a Gold Glover in 2016. He's just an all-around terrific ball player.
And one of the great players for St. Thomas Aquinas has been Giovanni Dingkong. Came into this league 4 years ago as the Rookie of the Year. He will be going out as the ECC Player of the Year. He has caught the eye of many Major League organizations.
Well, I mean, it's not very often that you see a 20-20 guy at this level. Last season, 20 home runs, 25 stolen bases. He is just an all-around athlete. He stands at 6'2", 230. You wouldn't think of him as the most adept, agile out there running the bases or even out in the field, but he actually goes and picks it out there in right field to go along with his illustrious power that he hasn't really got a chance to show off too much this tournament. Just 1 for 2, or just 1 for 3 in the first game, 1 for 2 yesterday, a long double to dead central in the first, but we'll see if he can unleash in this ball game today.
Well, games coming up. Molloy needs to force a second game. Win 2 today for Stack. It's one and done. They win the conference championship. We'll find out when we return. Keep it here on the East Coast Conference Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Welcome back to Uniondale, New York, the Mitchell Athletic Complex. I'm Scott Green alongside Sean Akula. We are set for the East Coast Conference Championship game. Stack needs 1 to win, and for Molloy, had to come out of the losers bracket. They need 2 today to keep their season alive and their NCAA hopes alive. Let's have a look at the St. Thomas Aquinas starting lineup. Second base, Nick Lucchese, Joseph Pena, Giovanni Dinkong, we spoke about him in the open, Anthony Scarelja over at third base, Bobby Morse, he'll be playing first base, Michael Morgan in center field, Anthony Marizano left field, and Kyle LaGruda will be behind the plate, and Juan Adorno will be DHing.
Well, the names that stick out to you in the heart of that order got to be Dinkong, Scarelja. Scarelja going deep yesterday to get Stack going in the first inning against Noah Lorenzo, and then later on Bobby Morse going yard, showing off that the power doesn't only come from Dinkong and Scarelja in the heart of that lineup. It's up and down the order. We see Michael Morgan in there in the 6th hole, which is a little interesting. Saw him towards the bottom of the lineup in the first game that they played on Thursday, moving up against the right-handed pitcher. So he is in there. Maizano in there, who we saw against the lefty Lorenzo yesterday. A different look for Coach Muscat and the Spartans.
And we'll take a look at the Molloy lineup for today, and they'll be starting off with Jake Salzman out in center field, Jake McCarty over at second, Angelo Nevetto, we spoke about him, the star first baseman. The freshman of the year, Matt Overton, what a season he's had over in left field. Elijah Leardom over in right. Sean Hogan will be the DH, star sophomore out of East Meadow. Jake McCarthy at third base. Michael Wall behind the plate. And James Messina at short.
Well, the guy who stuck out to me today was definitely Matt Overton. He was absolutely terrific, hitting those home runs and driving the ball. Is just a sweet swinging left-handed hitter.
So after the starting lineup, we will get things started. So we had a little weather emergency prior to the game, a little lightning, and both teams had to evacuate the complex. They made their dash to the vans, as we did, and all cleared up and ready to go. Starting to light up just a bit here on Long Island. We have what we call bookend weather. Rained early on. We're supposed to get about 4 or 5 hours of clear weather, so hopefully that will continue throughout. It's a cool 55 degrees here in Uniondale. Beautiful sports complex, also the home of the Molloy College Lions, situated right near Hofstra University, Nassau Community College, for those of you that are not familiar with Long Island.
One thing I will notice, too, the last couple of days especially, we've had the wind blowing out, going off that weather theme a little bit. We've had the wind blowing out towards left field, right field, out to dead center. So it's been blowing all over. Today doesn't look quite as strong, maybe a slight breeze in towards the field, so don't think the weather will be playing too much of a factor from here on out. We'll be curious to see how maybe the wet surface will affect some ground balls. We saw some nasty hops bouncing over the heads of first baseman, third baseman down the lines with that artificial turf over the course of the past couple of days, but we'll see how it plays this afternoon.
So Molloy, 42 hits in their 2 games, in their elimination games yesterday. So can Molloy keep those hot bats alive? They have not beaten St. Thomas Aquinas this season. They had 2 games by 1 run, 1 by 2. So they've been in every game, 9-8 the first time, 6-4, 6-5, and then 10-4. So all competitive games with St. Thomas Aquinas. Stack comes in number 3 in the Northeast region in the NCAA poll. And speaking to the coach before the game, the St. Thomas Aquinas is pretty much in the NCAA tournament regardless, so they're looking to win this conference and keep their high seed. For Molloy, they know they're in a must-win situation. Win 2 and you're in. So the NCAA plays funny games. You worry about how teams play outside of conference, surprises that come in, who gets bumped out later on. But you want to control your own destiny when you get into games like this and just secure it by yourself.
Well, right, and for Molloy, too, you're looking at a team who went pretty much toe-to-toe, besides their head-to-head matchups, in terms of the ECC record, both 18-6. These two teams tied atop the conference, so maybe a little chip on their shoulder. Feels like they aren't maybe getting the respect nationally and regionally that they feel like they should deserve with that same record as Stack. So we'll see if that shows off early on in today's ballgame.
So pitching for St. Thomas Aquinas is Tyler Patain. He is the junior out of Lake Grove. 2-0 record on the season, 3.86 ERA. Only pitched 39 innings on the season, 46 strikeouts. This is something you want to note, 46 strikeouts in those 39 innings. So he throws up in the high 80s. Coach Muscat spoke to him before the game and said he really likes a lot of the good things he does. Has a great breaking ball, knows how to put the ball down in the zone. Throws about 87, 88 with some pretty good movement. So we are set to go, and that'll bring up Jake Salzman, the center fielder, sophomore out of Plainview, New York, batting .290. Can hit for some power, has 8 doubles, a couple triples, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs on the season. And we are set to go. It's Championship Saturday here in the East Coast Conference. So the umpire gives the nod, and Patain to start things off. And a first pitch cold strike on Salzman.
And that fastball is sizzling in there out of the right hand of Tyler Patain, a two-way player. We saw him to do some DHing on Thursday, hit a few balls hard, and yesterday came up with a pinch hitting opportunity and roped a single.
And a pitch down in, I don't want to say in the dirt. This is a full synthetic turf field. Infield, outfield, batter's box. The only dirt you're going to see here is on the pitcher's mound. So down on the turf for ball number 1. And a 1-1 count to Salzman. And a foul ball back. So Patain gets ahead with a 1-2 count. So for Molloy, Joe Fucarino in his 12th season at the helm for the Lions, 333 wins. He is the East Coast Conference Coach of the Year. Just a great job that Coach Fucarino has done with this Molloy Lions program. And a ground ball back to Patain. Patain will run it over to first base and 1 away.
Well, unafraid to work in and out against the right-handed hitter there, came in with the fastball. And again, maybe Saltzman looking for something, a breaking ball down and away, rode in on his hands. He just couldn't do much with it. Right back to Patain for that first out.
So that'll bring up Jack McCarty, the senior from Huntington. Jack McCarty having a great season, 321, 13 doubles, 2 triples, and 29 RBIs. He's hit for some power this year. So McCarty expected to do big things this year, and he's done it. And a strike to the inside part of the plate. And that's what we talked about Patain, his ability to move the ball inside and out.
And that's the thing, too. It's led to his high strikeout numbers. You're moving the ball in and out all over the zone. You're going to get swings and misses.
Second pitch, breaking ball right at the knees, and 0-2 of the count quickly to McCarty.
He's actually up over near 10.5 strikeouts per game. He didn't qualify for the league leaders in the ECC, but if he had, that would have put him at the top of the conference over the pitcher of the year, James Varela.
So here's a breaking ball, and that will hit McCarty. So the breaking ball didn't break in, and you start to think, how wet is that baseball? The turf is very slick right now, so you never know, but he will go over to first base. So Molloy with a runner on and 1 out, and that will bring up the ever-dangerous Angelo Navetta, the senior from Staten Island. He's pretty much rewritten the record books here at Molloy College, batting .392, 14 doubles, 10 triples, 49 RBIs. He has been terrific for the Lions.
And you'll see, we talked about his left-handed swing, you'll see a classic left-handed hitter's shift against the first baseman here.
And that ball hit to left field, coming over down the line, makes the catch. So 2 away now for the Lions. He was able to get to the outside, but nice catch coming over was Anthony Mazzano. And that will bring up the ECC Freshman of the Year, Matt Overton. We spoke to Coach Fucarino before the game about Matt Overton, and he said what a pleasure he has been. And all he's done this year is hit 347, 11 doubles, a couple homers, 36 RBIs, and he has been clutch in that cleanup spot. So ball to the outside part of the plate. So 2 away. McCarty stands over at second on the hit batter. So Overton trying to get something going.
And we saw the prowess of Overton yesterday. 8 hits and 11 at-bats. Yanked a home run ball down the right field line. It was a breaking ball away, and he just got the barrel around it and crushed it.
So ball to the outside part of the plate. So 2-0. Freshman out of Smithtown, New York, Hop Hog High School. So he'll be a 4-year guy here for Coach Fucarino and the Lions. Only going to get better and expect big things out of this young man. So 2-0 the count. And that ball fouled back, so 2-1.
And importantly, too, we saw him yank that ball down the right field line, but he's also able to take the ball the other way. That's why you might not see as intensive a shift, really no shift at all. They're playing him straight up on the infield and in the outfield. So, again, he's a left-handed hitter that could spray the ball to all fields, is able to take that outside pitch the other way.
So 2-1 the count, going on the pitch. And that ball's hit high to shallow center field. Incoming. And that'll do it for Molloy here in the top of the first inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, just the hit batter. We go to the bottom of the first here on the ECC Network.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
Was So we're back here in the bottom of the first inning, and Molloy will take the field. And pitching for Molloy is number 35, Anthony Catanella. He's the senior out of Middle Village, New York. 2-6. 9.16 ERA, 39 strikeouts. And I spoke to Coach Fucarino about him before the game, and he said, well, you know what? He's the senior. He's been with us through our runs throughout the last couple of years. He's the guy I want on the mound right now, and a lot of confidence here in this senior.
Well, the right-hander, not necessarily the top option for Coach Fucarino. He had to use Kevin Hiss, Tim Panetta, and Anthony Bonner to get him to this championship round, but he's been he hasn't made a start, actually, since April 27th, so we'll see how deep into this ball game he can go. That start came against Post, and he was rocked. 2 1/3 innings, surrendered 10 runs on 9 hits. Did pitch a scoreless 9th inning on Thursday against LIU Post, so we've seen him in this tournament already. He has a good fastball. We'll see if he can mix in the breaker and retire some of these stacked Spartans.
Some very tough hitters here for the Spartans. Lucchese, Pena, and Ding Kong coming up. And leading off for St. Thomas Aquinas, Nicholas Lucchese, second baseman, sophomore out of North Shore High School here on the North Shore of Long Island, batting .313, 9 doubles, 3 home runs, 26 RBIs. Leadoff batter, can hit with power, a lot of speed on the base paths. And St. Thomas Aquinas, coached by Scott Muscat, 17th year, and what a job he's done. Played his ball at UNC Charlotte. Really turned this program when they were a mediocre NAIA program and has built them into a Division II powerhouse. 35-13 on the season. And we are set here in the bottom of the first inning. Catanella to deal. And that first pitch is hit deep. That ball's going back. And what a nice play there. He had to go a long way. And we talk about the speed of Elijah Leardom. And that ball was going deep into the gap. And Elijah Leardom ran that down. And great to have speed in right field.
Oh, and he got a great read on it, too. It's funny, we've seen Lucchese jump on that first pitch fastball a few times. He jumped on it for a home run in their first game against Bridgeport on Thursday, so unafraid to attack that first ball fastball.
So one away here in the bottom of the second. Ball taken outside. And, in this thick air, cool air, it's, some of those balls will hang up here. And from our depth perception, we're sitting just to the left of home plate. And 2-0 the count for Joseph Pena. And Joe Pena, .394 on the season, 19 doubles, 5 triples, a home run, 38 RBIs. He's put up some big numbers, getting some looks at the pro scouts. 3-0 the count. St. Louis Cardinals have their eye on Joseph Pena. And, as an avid St. Louis Cardinal fan, I'm always looking for good talent to kind of come in, eventually play in the major leagues over at Busch Stadium.
And, I think his kind of talent will play just about anywhere, whether it be St. Louis, Yankee Stadium, wherever. He's a guy that ton of speed, good bat-to-ball skills, and has shown off the power with the extra base hits.
So here's the pitch, and a ball 4 taken. So that will put Joseph Pena on a lot of speed on the base paths. And that brings up the ECC Player of the Year, Giovanni Dinkong. Came in 4 years ago as the Rookie of the Year, going out as the Player of the Year. And here's another one that's getting every look from the Yankees to the Reds to the Tigers. Batting .367, 15 doubles, a couple triples, 13 home runs, and 50 RBIs. So this young man can hit for power. So first pitch to Dinkong, and he'll go breaking ball low and does not want to make a mistake with Dinkong.
Well, again, nowhere to put him, though, too, because you have Skrelja on deck, Morse behind him. You got to choose somebody. Dinkong, there's a check in there, back diving in. We saw a clip yesterday of Giovanni Dinkong at Stax Home Stadium blasting a ball over the scoreboard. Just illustrious, incredible power.
So we talk about the speed of Pena, and Catanella realizes that, so that's 2 times in a row throw over to keep him honest. So a 1-0 pitch to Dinkong. And ball taken up high, 2-0.
Saw the first pitch slider there. It looked like maybe trying to get a chase from Dinkong. So, again, carefully pitching him. Don't want to make a mistake, leave anything over the heart of the plate.
So out of the stretch is Catanella. And that ball hit down the right field line. That'll go foul. So able to get a strike here on Dinkong, making the count 2-1. So 2-1 the count, and another throw over to first. Checking in on Pena.
We've yet to see Pena swipe a bag in this tournament. 34 stolen bags for him on the year. See if he's going here.
So 2-1 the count. Ball taken up high, 3-1. Tough position here. You're 3-1. You don't want to make a mistake. It's a hitter's count. One of the things Muscat said was Dinkong, he does have quite a bit of strikeout this year, is trying to get him to not always be thinking home run. It's tough to take the home run out of somebody. And sometimes a base hit is just good enough. And that's been his biggest concern, and trying to get him adjusted to that. Because when he gets to the next level, he's going to have to be able to take a ball the other way and settle for the little base hit up the middle. And doesn't always have to be the long ball. So the count is full to Dinkong. Here's the pitch, and another ball fouled back. So 2 in a row. Catanella taking a little speed off the ball.
And there we saw Pena think about maybe dashing from first base. With Ding Kong at the dish and Skrelja on deck, I'd be a little hesitant to send him here. You talked about running the risk of the strikeout and taking yourself out of a first inning.
So another throw over. So full count to Ding Kong. 1 away here in the bottom of the first inning of the East Coast Conference Baseball Championships. So the pitch. And another one fouled back. So we have a battle brewing here. Catanella trying to get Ding Kong out.
Pena was going with the pitch there, so again, maybe just trying to make something happen. Hope Ding Kong can drive a ball and maybe give Pena a head start from first base.
So Ding Kong again. Count is full. Pena on first. Big lead over at first. And here's the pitch. Off speed and ball 4. So Ding Kong down to first. Pena will walk over to second. So with 1 away, the Spartans have 2 on. And that'll bring up Anthony Skrelja, senior out of Bedford Hills, New York. 301 batting average. 9 home runs. Another one hits with power. 31 RBIs on the season. 5 doubles. So Molloy in trouble early. And a called strike to the inside part of the plate. So Molloy in need of an out.
Walks have been the issue for Catanella, too, and just about 50 innings has walked 34 batters. So see if Stack can take advantage of his lack of command.
So 0-1 pitch to Skrelja. And Skrelja will call timeout.
Shame, too, because that looked like a good breaking ball. Front door slide piece, it looked like, backing up Skrelja off the inside part of the plate.
There comes a point where once you're in your windup, when can you call that timeout? So Pena down at second. Ding Kong over at first. The dangerous Skrelja to the plate. And a swing and the miss. So Catanella way ahead here. 0-2 the count.
That was just power on power there. Fastball blown right by Skrelja. He was looking for the downs. Swung right through it.
Well, Skrelja, you could tell he was looking for a good 340, 350 here, and went right through it. So here's the pitch down in the dirt. So 1-2 the count. 1 away here in the bottom of the second. And the ball fouled back.
I like what Catanella was doing here, too. He gave him a fastball over the outside part of the plate that he swung through, countered with a slider down and away, tried to get the chase, didn't get it quite where he wanted it, but then came back with another fastball on the outside part. So keeping it in that same tunnel, seeing if you can get a wave and a miss.
So here's the pitch. Taken high. 2-2 the count to Skrelja. So Catanella has thrown quite a few pitches thus far here in the first inning. So here's Catanella. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. So a big strikeout for Anthony Catanella. So 2 away. And that'll bring up Bobby Morse, the senior from Comac, New York. Bobby Morse batting .242, 10 doubles, a couple home runs, and 25 RBIs.
Well, you saw there, Catanella went right back to the well with that fastball on the outside part of the plate, was able to get the swing and miss. Again, we saw Morse show off the power yesterday with that homer. He has a chance to do some damage.
So a big strikeout for Catanella. And here's Morse. And a cold strike. So Catnell's starting to find his groove. Mixing up the pitches, a little off speed. Working on some location. So Pena down at second, Ding Kong at first, 2 away. Molloy looking to get out of this inning. So that ball's hit, and a diving catch in left field by Matt Overton, showing why he is the East Coast Conference Freshman of the Year. And let's take a look.
Well, it's a pitch up in the zone, and Morse ready for it, tries to drive it, dunk it, but no sir, says Matt Overton, getting Catanella through a big jam in the first inning.
So out of the jam, no runs, no hits, no errors. We move to the top of the second. You're watching East Coast Conference Championship Baseball on the ECC Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So we're back here in Uniondale, New York. Beautiful complex here. Rain subsided, and we're ready to play some championship baseball. We move to the second inning. Molloy out of a big jam. First and second, 1 out. Catanella gets the strikeout, and then a terrific catch by the freshman, Matt Overton. And I'll tell you what, with 2 outs, first and second, you make a diving play in left field. If you don't make that play, you're not just looking at the run from second coming around. You're looking at 2 runs coming in.
Oh, absolutely. That ball is trickling back to the wall, and both runners definitely coming around. And Molloy of any team knows the importance of those first inning runs. They played the 9:30 a.m. game yesterday and got a couple runs on the board. It really set the tone. So preventing those runs from scoring for Stack could be big as we move along in this one.
So that'll bring up Elijah Leardom. Made that nice catch out in right center last inning. Senior from Jamaica, New York. 277, 9 doubles, 4 home runs, 32 RBIs, and just a great career for Leardom. Big swing for strike number 1.
That was another good breaking ball. Leardom did not see it coming at all, way out in front of it.
He was thinking fastball all the way, and that breaking ball sometimes will make you do funny things at the plate. And the same pitch, this time he stayed back on it, so 0-2 the count to Leardom.
And one thing from Patani is he's really unafraid of using that breaking ball early in the count, especially, too. Even when he hit McCarty in the first inning, we saw him triple up on that breaking pitch. And, again, he'll go to the well with it, try to get those swings and misses.
So 0-2 to Leardom, another breaking ball. So the scouting report is out. 3 breaking balls in a row.
That one hung over a little bit over the heart of the plate there. You can kind of see him give a laugh after he threw it. I think Leardom might have missed one to drive.
So we'll do it again, 0-2 the count. Here's Patane. Outside part of the plate, taken for a ball, so 1-2 the count. And down in the turf. We'll even up the count at 2. 2-2. So coming into this game, St. Thomas Aquinas with a 3-2 win over Bridgeport. And then an 8-6 win over LIU Post. So they had to battle through those 2 games to get here. And that's a soft grounder. They may not get him. Over to first. Not in time.
Well, that's a tough play on the charge from Skrelji. Picked it off in front of his shortstop, Pena, and did all he could to get it over there, but the speed of Leardom helping out Molloy on that one.
Well, you got the soft turf, becomes like a sponge. So you could see he was playing back, so he had to make that hard run to come in. So Molloy with a leadoff single for Elijah Leardom. And that'll bring up Sean Hogan, the lefty, DH, sophomore from East Meadow. Sean Hogan, 380. Solid hitter, 10 doubles, 24 RBIs. And I'll tell you, what impresses me the most about this young man, he's been up 179 times on the season, and he's only had 8 strikeouts. So this is a tough kid to strike out.
And we talked about it too. 24 walks to 8 strikeouts. That's just an unheard of walk strikeout ratio there.
Well, the pitch to Hogan, outside part of the plate. 2-0 the count. So Molloy trying to get something started here in the top of the second. So Leardom, first hit of the game for either team. Came on a soft infielder. So Leardom at first, Hogan. And a 3-0 count to Hogan. Well, you see why he doesn't strike out much. He's got a terrific eye, and he is very patient at the plate.
And again, he's not a guy with a ton of speed, but you put the ball in play, and good things will happen. That's Sean Hogan's hitting philosophy, and it's propelled him to a 380 batting average, 457 on base percentage. He's been one of the top hitters in this lineup.
So here's the pitch. And ball 4. So Hogan down on 4 pitches, goes down to first base. So Molloy has something going here. Leardom down at second, Hogan at first, no outs, and that will bring up Jake McCarthy. Oh, we're going to change that up. That'll bring up Michael Wall, the catcher. A junior out of Massapequa.
That's Coach Fucarino there playing for the 1-run, exchanging an out to move his 2 runners up into scoring position. I'm not sure how I feel about that with the way Wall has been swinging the bat. 3 for 5 in the morning game against Bridgeport yesterday, 2 for 4 against Post. He's been one of their hottest hitters.
So Michael Wall, 239, 7 doubles, a home run, 14 RBIs. He's going to square the bunt, and he gets the bunt down. Over to first base, in time, almost thrown away, but the sacrifice is successful. And that will move Leardom over to third, Hogan over to second, and that'll bring up Jake McCarthy.
And I tell you, that was an absolutely brilliant bunt from Michael Wall. The pressure of the crashing corner infielders, both were about probably 60 feet away from the batter's box, way up and in. And just out of the reach of the first baseman Moore, so he couldn't turn and fire it over to third base. A great job there by Wall.
So Jake McCarthy, 258, 7 doubles, a home run, 17 RBI. Big position here, base hit. Can get Molloy on the board and a called strike. Freshman out of Northport, New York. So a big at bat here for the young freshman. Here's the pitch. And that's shot hit down, and it's going to be caught. Base hit. So McCarthy does his job, and he gets a run in. We talk about our depth perception here. It looked like that ball was going to be hit right at him, but that ball gets down, so Molloy quickly with a 1-0 lead.
I'll tell you what happened there. That ball just kept tailing away from Morgan out in center field. Thought he had a read on it, but the ball just kept on slicing. A little stinger kind of shot there off the bat of McCarthy. Gets the job done, and the Lions still threatening here in the first.
So we talk about our view. We're behind the net, just to the left of the home plate. So that will bring up James Messina, the shortstop, sophomore at a New Hyde Park, 264, 2 doubles, 9 RBIs, and chance to bring in another run. So on the RBI single by McCarthy, Leardom comes in to score. Molloy with a 1-0 lead here in the second. And the first pitch, called strike to Messina.
And Messina has been white hot for the Lions. 3 for 4 in the morning game yesterday, 2 for 4 in the afternoon game. Just roping singles all over the field. He's really shown maturation as a hitter over the course of this tournament.
So 0-1 the count to Messina. And a number off the end of the bat over to second base. That ball's thrown into the outfield. A run's going to score. Over to third in time. So interesting enough, Bobby Morse decides to throw to second base to try to get the force out. We talk about the wet ball, threw the ball into the outfield. So in come to score is Hogan, and that'll move McCarthy over to third.
And on that throw, he brought the ball with him, had to come in and turn and make a throw down to second base. Wasn't in the line of the runner, but that's a tough play. The smart play for Morris there, probably take the out if you don't have the play at home and just get the easy out at first base. He's unable to convert the 3-6-3 double play.
So an error by Morse gives Molloy a 2-0 lead with a chance to add to it. And that'll bring up Jake Salzman, the leadoff batter. Ground ball to the pitcher in the first. So this is just what Molloy wanted. And take advantage of it. So at third base is McCarty. Messina over at first. And a 2-0 the count. So we talk about how errors can hurt, and games like this, you want to try to minimize those. So here's Salzman. And the ball fouled back. Sophomore out of Plainview.
Messina running there with the pitch, has 10 stolen bags on the year. So see if Coach Fucarino wants to try to get a couple more batters in scoring position with the heart of his order coming up.
So Jake Salzman, 2-1 the count. With a runner on third, Molloy looking to add to their run total. Breaking ball outside, 3-1.
And with the lead starting to build for Molloy here, you have to wonder, when do you get the bullpen up? It's not like this is an elimination game for the Spartans. They could probably afford, obviously they can afford to lose this ball game and still go out there later today. So I don't know how long you want Patain out there.
And a ball fouled back. You get to a play like this, it's about using those pitchers efficiently. Keep in mind they only played 2 games. This is their 3rd game, Molloy's 4th game. So usually the advantage does go to pitching in a team that has the road less traveled. So the count is full for Salzman. A walk will load up the bases. And a ball popped up, right field, coming in, a lot of wind. And that ball, they're going to score, that will do it. So the Molloy Lions get a couple on the board. 2 runs, they lead, 2-0, bottom half of the second.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
Welcome back to Uniondale. We move to the bottom half of the second inning. Molloy able to get the lead in the top of the second.
And a base running blunder there to end the inning. I don't know if you folks saw it at home. James Messina was running with the pitch, and on the fly ball to right field, that's behind him. He had no idea where that ball was. By the time he was around the second base bag, nothing he could really do. And it was an easy just flip by Ding Kong over to Morse covering there on first base for the 9-3 double play to get Patain through that second inning.
Yeah, that ball looked like, it was funny. That ball was tailing in, and it just had nowhere to go. Sometimes you just get caught in a jam, and, Lucchese was coming on, and he looked like he was going to get the ball, and he just got it at the last minute. So moving to the bottom half of the second, Morgan, Maisano, and LaGruda coming up for the Spartans. So the Spartans Still looking to get the first hit of the game. Catanella had a battle out of a jam, first and second, one out. Came away with nothing in that first inning, and that'll bring up the big lefty, Michael Morgan, out of Middle Village, only a junior, 217. He's got a home run, 9 RBIs. You know, this is a team, St. Thomas Aquinas, they don't always do it with big bats. You know, they have a couple kids that can really put it out there, that can really hit the home runs. You know, they beat Bridgeport with 4 hits, you know, on the game. So this is a team that knows how to grind it out. And a ball upstairs, 1-1 the count.
And I mean, that comes with a team on base percentage at 400 and the 150 stolen bases as a team. Again, manufacture runs, move station to station.
And that ball hit to center field. Coming on, making the play is Saltzman. So 1 away here in the second.
Well, Saltzman wisely started back on that one. Again, that ball hit right at the center fielder, very tough to pick up off the bat. Starts back, comes in, and makes a fine grab.
And the wind blowing in, so I mean, you're seeing every ball right now. You know, these outfielders are coming in on everything. So you don't want to play too deep. And that'll bring up Anthony Mazzano, sophomore from Staten Island, 250 on the season, 4 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, 10 RBIs. Ground ball, couldn't stabbed it. Gonna be a tough play in time. What a great play. So I know it's kind of tough to see on the screen. Catanella tried to backhand it behind his back there, and I think he deflected it enough that allowed McCarty to come over to make that play. He doesn't skim that. That's a base hit up the middle.
Well, jammed Maizano enough that it wasn't hit hard. He tried the little how do you do behind the back grab and a great running throw from McCarty to keep the Spartan base runners off the base paths.
So that'll bring up Kyle LaGruda, freshman out of Comac, New York, 310 batting average. So Catanella doing a fine job here in the second inning. And ground ball, well, foul ball bounced back at us. We weren't worried. We have the screen between us and the ball.
I was ready to lay out and try to make a diving stop and make sure everyone's safe over here.
You're a lot younger than I am, so, you know, hey, go ahead. And the ball put upstairs, so 2-1 the count to LaGruda.
LaGruda got the start yesterday in place of Chris Ruiz, the regular catcher for his defense, has a good arm behind the plate.
And a strike call to the outside part of the plate. So 2s are wild here in the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So Catanella. And a cold strike gets him out, and Molloy is out of the inning. So a quick inning for Anthony Catanella and the Molloy Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors. We move to the top of the third. Molloy leads 2-0. Here at the East Coast Conference Baseball Championship.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
So back here at Uniondale, the Mitchell Field Complex, lightened up. Rain has managed to stay away thus far. We have a couple more hours left of that. And it's a little cool day, and I feel like we had a tease of the weather here on Long Island. Had some nice weather throughout the week, and knew we were going to be battling it. Great job by the East Coast Conference getting this up and running. Set up, take down, reset up again. East Coast Commissioner Bob Dranoff always does a great job. Casey Rafferty, Assistant Commissioner, always does a great job with these tournaments. And that's going to set the stage now for Jack McCarty, Angelo Navetta, and Matt Overton coming to the plate for the Lions. Scored 2 runs in the second. So Jack McCarty hit by the pitch in the first inning. Senior out of Huntington. Patain will still do the honors at the mound. So the first pitch and a cold strike to McCarty.
Well, that sizzles in there on that outside corner. Funny, we saw Patain throw 3 breaking balls to McCarty back in the first and starts him off with a fastball away here.
So here's the pitch to McCarty. That ball's hit up in the air, and that'll be in the infield. And in easy play for Bobby Moore, so 1 away.
Well, and looking through the clouds here today, it's going to be tough to pick up those fly balls. We've already seen it in the outfield. We actually saw players having trouble picking up the fly balls yesterday when the sky was beautifully sunny. And so you think today maybe it might be a little more difficult to pick up with this gray all over, but no real issues to this point.
So Angelo Navetta. Flied out to right. Flied out to left. In his first time up, takes a cold strike. Senior out of Staten Island, really leaving his mark here in Rockville Center. Putting up big numbers throughout 4 years and shot foul down the left field line.
Interesting, too, to see Patain going right at him. It felt like every time he stepped to the plate yesterday, Navetta, that is, he had a 3-ball count. He was ahead, basically had the advantage. Now, behind 0-1 in the first AB, behind 0-2 here, going to need to battle.
So 0-2 the count to Navetta. And a cold strike to the inside part of the plate gets Angelo Navetta.
Well, not much you could do with that there. That is just right on the black. Would have jammed him if he even got bat on ball there. Great pitch from Patain.
So the first strikeout of the game for Patain, and that'll bring up the freshman of the year, Matt Overton. Flew out to center in his first at-bat in the first. And the ball fouled back quickly, 0-1. The ball down and away, so 1-1 the count to Overton. So Patain looking to make this a quick inning. Oh, here's the pitch. And a big swing and the miss for Overton. Overton's got a couple home runs on the season. But his key is his defense. Terrific outfielder. You saw that diving catch back in the first inning. 347 hitter. And a ball taken inside, and the St. Thomas Aquinas fans expressed their displeasure.
I mean, if inside is on the, inside third of the plate, maybe that pitch looked like a strike to me, and Patain really, really wanted it. I think he had a bit of a gripe there.
So 2-2 the count, 2 away. Patain. And to the outside part, and that will fill up the count for Overton.
That one definitely did miss away. I think what happened there on that inside fastball might have been LaGretta setting up outside, might have thrown off the umpire's perception, and hitting that inside corner would have been hard to get.
So here's the pitch. And a walk to Overton. So a nice job by the freshman. A lot of patience, and he'll be down at first base. And that'll bring up Elijah Leardom, the senior from Jamaica, New York. He had the infield base hit in the second.
See if Patain can maintain the composure here after losing a hitter Overton that he really probably should have rung up. See if he can bear down and get through this third inning without any further damage.
So 2 outs, Overton over at first. And that ball grounded to short. Quickly over to second, and Stack is out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We move to the bottom half of the third inning. Molloy College leads 2-0 on the East Coast Conference Network.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, Stack really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
So we move to the bottom half of the third inning here in Uniondale, and boy, you can start to feel the chill in the air. It has that feel of a March day, and Mother Nature has not been kind to Long Island this year. I know it's been a very cold season, for baseball, for softball, for lacrosse, and you got to think by May, we should have been 70 to 75 degrees, but it's sunny. The temperature's dropping here, and we're down to 55 degrees.
And the thing is, I was going back and looking at some tape of some March games, and I was just shocked to see there's snow on the hills behind home plate, and this is in March. This is like 2 months ago that we're talking about here, and we were still, and these temperatures, this weather is bringing back nostalgic feelings of those early games, and not games I want to relive, if we're being honest.
So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Juan Adorno. So Adorno, Lucchese, Pena due to come up here in the bottom half of the third. So Catanella has been very efficient. He's got 2 strikeouts on the game thus far. And a ball low and away. So 1-0 the count to Adorno. He's a grad student senior out of Brooklyn, 279, 7 doubles, couple triples, couple homers, 17 RBIs. And 2-0 the count to Adorno.
Adorno moved down in the order, was up near the 6-7 spots for Stack's first 2 games, now hitting 9th and taken out of left field where he had been playing.
So ball to the outside part of the plate. Catanella has been really hitting that outside part of the plate. So that's his pitch today. And a foul ball, so quickly evens up the count, 2-2.
And he's keeping the ball down, too, which is really important. He's not a guy that's going to necessarily overpower you. His fastball is good, but it's not exactly a low 90s or anything that he could afford to throw that ball up and blow it by some hitters. Keeping it down on the corners. We saw Molloy starter Anthony Vano do that very effectively yesterday in a complete game effort in the afternoon game, so looks like Catanella out of that same mold.
2-2 the pitch. And this time the Molloy side expresses this pleasure. And I don't know.
What more can you ask the guy to do there? That's a slide piece on the outside corner. That's a pitcher's pitch. You got to give that to him.
So full count to Adorno. And there's a ground ball to short over to first. In time, 1 away for the Lions.
Messina moves quickly, get into every ball up the middle on the backhand, charging on that one. A very easy routine play for him. He's a great arm, too, the sophomore, showing off his defensive prowess.
And that'll bring up Lucchese. Nicholas Lucchese, last at bat, flew out to right field. So the depths here, 325 in the corners. 390 out dead center field, wind blowing in. So it'll take a shot today to get one out of this ballpark. So 1-0 the count to Lucchese.
And you saw there at the beginning of that at-bat, Lucchese stepping out, Catanella working very quickly, so maybe Lucchese a little flustered.
And a ground ball foul down the left field line, so 1-1.
When pitchers get in a groove like that, they tend to get the sign, drop and drive, and just fire it in there. So now Lucchese stepping out, taking some practice swings, trying to break him out of that groove.
So Molloy College, they played in this game last year. They got to that deciding game, lost 9-7 to LIU Post, who Molloy eliminated yesterday. And just missing the outside part of the plate. So 2-2 the count. slam just foul. Hit a seed down the left field line.
Right on that slider down in the zone. Lucchese doing a great job of battling here.
So one away here in the bottom of the third. So to Lucchese. And a base hit for Lucchese, and it's the first hit of the game for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Well, this powerhouse offense waiting to show off its skills until the third inning in this one. That was just a pitch over the heart of the plate. The deeper the work you work in the at-bat, the better chance you're going to get a pitch over the middle attack zone there. And Lucchese spoiling some good pitches down, finally got his pitch to drive.
So St. Thomas Aquinas with 1 on, 1 out here in the third inning, and that'll bring up Joseph Pena. Pena walked his last time at bat. Talk about the speed of Joseph Pena. Very tough strikeout to get here. And they're going to be careful with Pena. Hitting close to 400 on the season.
But again, with this stack order, where do you want to put him? Because you got Ding Kong on deck, Scrolja behind him. You start walking guys, pitching carefully, and before you know it, it's going to be a grand slam or base clearing double.
And going on the pitch. And ball hit foul. But Lucchese was running. You know, and I spoke to Coach Muscat before the game, and we talked about, you know, their win over Bridgeport, winning with only 4 hits on a 3-2 ball game. They did get the home run. And he said one of the things that we've been doing so well is with our patience. We get walked a lot. They had 7 walks that game. Throw to first, not in time, but we get walked a lot in the game, and that's what helps. And, you know, it's like just getting a base hit. So when you put 7 guys on, you're going to find a way to score runs. So 1-1 the count to Pena. Going on the pitch again, squaring a bunt, down, throw it down, in time!
Well, that was a seed from Michael Wall behind the plate there. Lucchese was leaning, did not get a good read on Catanella's start time to the plate there. He was dashing a second, then finally when he broke, he just did not get the greatest jump, and he was a dead duck. Michael Wall has shown off the arm a couple times behind the dish.
So Pena did not get down the bunt and kind of left Lucchese out there to dry, and just a terrific throw from Wall, and that ball gets passed, and good thing they got the ball down there because he would have been advanced to the second on that pass ball.
And the thing is, I'm a little curious to see the bunt and the maybe a hit and run on the previous pitch with Lucchese was going there. Again, with your big hitters, just work counts, get on base, and let them hit the homers. A little interested to see the small ball tactics.
So that ball's hit high, incoming, the wind bringing that ball in, and wow. Good catch for Salzman, and that will retire the Spartans. So they get their first hit of the game. They don't put any runs on the board, no errors. We move to the top of the fourth. Molloy leads 2-0. You're watching the East Coast Conference Baseball Championship on the East Coast Conference Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Well, we move to the top of the fourth inning. East Coast Conference Championship Saturday. Molloy trying to advance and force a deciding game. St. Thomas Aquinas looking to try to end it here. Winner will receive the automatic bid to next week's NCAA tournament. That's always the goal every year coming in. So St. Thomas Aquinas got their first hit in the third, and that's going to bring up Hogan, Wall, and McCarthy for the Lions.
And talking about looking forward to those NCAA tournaments, the East region tournaments, this is a stacked team that's pretty solidified in their standings, as we talked about a little bit in the open. They're going to be in that East Regional. Whereas for Molloy, this is a must-win game. These two games are must-win games if they want their season to continue in that East region. They're going to have to get that automatic bid from the ECC. So definitely some different motives, I guess, for both squads in this one.
So Sean Hogan fouled off the foot. Sean Hogan walked in the second inning. Got things started in that 2-run inning for the Lions. Local product out of East Meadow. Grew up about 10 minutes away from here in Mitchell Field. Nice and convenient for the family to come watch him play. And that's a ball's hit out to the left field. And incoming was Maizano, and he'll make the catch one away for the Lions.
We saw Maizano show off the speed out in center field yesterday and running around the bases with the triple that he hit right there. Those are two center fielders going after balls. Sometimes that could be a little dicey with two aggressive kind of mindsets calling for a ball. Maizano stepping in front of his center fielder Morgan there to make that play. So definitely going with defense in the outfield today are the Spartans.
That'll bring up Michael Wall. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. And a 1-0 count to Michael Wall. Big throw out, stealing in last inning. And the curveball got away from him. That ball went behind Michael Wall.
Yeah, I'll say it got away. It almost came right at us in the broadcast booth here. I thought I was in the batter's box for a second there, and all sorts of weird flashbacks. It was very strange.
Well, when I played baseball when I was young, I wasn't a very good hitter, so I probably would have taken the hit batter there and just threw backwards.
Right, we kind of swung the bat into it, tried to get on base with that, get hit by that curve.
Especially it was a soft curveball.
Right.
So 3-0 the count to Michael Wall. Junior out of Massapequa. And a cold strike down the middle of the plate, so 3-1. 7 doubles, a home run. So Molloy looking to get things started here. 1 away. And this time he gets him on the elbow. So a hit batter, second hit batter of the game for Patain.
Well, that was just a fastball that just ran inside. No harm, no foul with the 3-ball count. But again, Patain seems to be losing the touch for those nasty breaking pitches and the fastball that he was darting that we saw back in the first inning. So, again, see if he can rediscover that front door curve and get that first pitch strike.
So Jake McCarthy will come up. Big swing from McCarthy and quickly 0-1.
McCarthy's had his struggles, started this tournament 1 for 11. Picked up a couple hits at the end of the ball game yesterday to get him going and picked up that big hit back in the first.
So Patain dealing to McCarthy. McCarthy had that RBI single back in the second inning. So 0-2 the count to McCarthy. Well, here's the pitch. And got him on the inside part of the plate and down on strike. So 2 away for the Lions. Michael Wall sits at first base, and that will bring up the shortstop, James Messina.
McCarthy was not thinking fastball there. That was just an excuse me kind of hack trying to put bat on ball. He was definitely thinking breaking pitch and got the fastball in the inside corner.
So ball inside. So the second strikeout of the game for Tyler Patain, the junior from Lake Grove, Sachem North High School. Pitched really a good game. You look at that one error in the second, the base hit. Really should have been a 1-0 game, and so Patain's really done a good job here.
The thing is, that second inning definitely could have had more damage in it had it not been for the base running blunder by the batter now, Messina. Even the sacrifice bunt from Wall, if you let him swing there instead of giving up the out, maybe he gets another base hit. They had him a little bit on the ropes, and maybe you have an even bigger inning from Molloy.
So you look to square the bunt. So 3-0 the count to James Messina. So Molloy looking to add to the base paths. Keep in mind, Salzman, McCarty, Nevada, 2 up next. And a cold strike. So 3-1 the count. So Wall at first. Here's the pitch. And a called strike 2. So full count. So Wall will be going. So Wall will inch out a little bit more, get a good lead.
This is probably one of the low-key bigger pitches in the game here. If he walks Messina, you got the top of the order due up and a chance for Molloy to do even more damage. Be curious to see what Patain goes to here on this payoff pitch.
Oh, here's the pitch and fouled back by Messina.
So he comes at him with the fastball there. Does he maybe counter with the breaking ball, or against the 9-hitter, you're going to stay with the hard stuff and maybe just try to dart the outside corner? Again, with the top of the order due up next up, I'm not too sure I'd be inclined to throw that slider here, especially seeming like he's lost command with it as the game's gone along.
So the pitch, going on the pitch, and taken for a ball 4. So Molloy looking to get a 2-out rally going here, first and second. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Jake Salzman.
And he did try to find the outside corner with that fastball, and you could see Morse kind of throwing his hands up, Patain kind of shaking his head in disapproval. I think he wanted that pitch. It was borderline, but I think it did miss.
So Salzman 0 for 2 on the game, grounder to first and a fly out to left in the second. So Salzman with runners in scoring position, and a ball taken low. So Salzman looking to get something going here. Try to add some insurance for the Lions.
Gruda really holding that first pitch fastball. He wanted that one too.
And that ball's hit hard, but it'll be underneath it. Center field, and Morgan retires the sides. So we move to the bottom of the 4th. No runs, no hits, no errors. We move to the bottom half of the 4th. Molloy clinging to a 2-0 lead.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So we're back here in Uniondale, New York, Mitchell Athletic Conference. I'm Scott Green, alongside Sean Akula. Glad to have you with us, and happy Mother's Day weekend to all the moms out there who follow their sons all over the place, and all the games, the long season, down to the South trips.
And I'm sure the moms also, if this game was washed out today, unfortunately we played Sunday, I'm sure they would have loved their sons being out here playing ball instead of making them breakfast in bread or brunch or whatever they may choose.
I'll tell you, nobody more happier than my wife today than that these games are being played and not tomorrow. We did all our planting last night just because we knew the weather. It's, being proactive. I believe in taking the proactive approach. And
that's the way to go, Keep everyone happy.
So the Spartans coming up here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and they're going to bring up Ding Kong, Skrelja, and Morse to the plate. One hit thus far in the game, and a terrific job by the senior Anthony Catanella, managing to keep St. Thomas Aquinas off balance. So Giovanni Dinkong walked back in the first. And a called strike. And I'll tell you what, Catanella is showing no signs of intimidation for the future pro baseball player here in Ding Kong. And a big swing got him upstairs. So 0-2 the count.
And you talk about pitching with confidence, too. That first at bat, he kind of started first, but breaking ball came in with the fastball. Clearly pitching around. That's 2 straight fastballs in the zone. Come at it, come hit it. And Ding Kong took the first and took a mighty hack through that one.
So 0-2 the count to Ding Kong. And a ground ball foul. And, we talked about it before, with Coach Muscat, and they said his ability is to focus on when the home run pitch is not there, to focus on going for the level swing. As big numbers as he's had, he leads his team in strikeouts. He has 48 strikeouts and 166 at-bats. That's a sign of someone continuously going for the fence. And the ball up high, and that's something that comes in time and with experience.
I was going to say, I'll to be curious to see in his pro career how maybe that'll lead to some holes being opened up in his swing by the pro pitchers.
And just underneath it, coming in is Leardom, and he'll make the catch. So 1 away and a big out, getting the lead off Ding Kong.
That was a big league fly ball there. Didn't get much behind it in terms of getting the lower half, but just kind of threw the arms at it and put the barrel on it, and it went way high up there in the air. Leader able to locate it and put it away.
So Anthony Skrelja coming up. Cantnell has only thrown 50-something pitches right now, so he's done a nice job keeping that pitch count relatively low. In the first inning, I think, was the bulk of his pitches. So 1-1 the count to Skrelja. And that ball's up in the air. And underneath it is Jack McCarty. So 2 away here. And so far, you got to be happy about Anthony Catanella. You get number 3 batter, number 4 batter, and now brings up Bobby Morse, who flied out to left in his first at-bat.
You talk about the low pitch count for Catanella, too. That's got to be really, really important, especially if Molloy can hold on to this one. If you can give him 8, even 9 innings, and you could save that back end of the bullpen for the second game today.
So a called strike, and I'll tell you what Catanella's been able to really do well is get ahead of the count and get that first strike down, and when you're a pitcher and you can get that first strike, now you can start playing with the batter a little bit. Pitching ahead is so important. And 2 strikes, so 0-2 the count to Bobby Morse, the senior redshirt out of Comac.
And that was just a fastball on the outside corner. Again, nothing you could do with that. If you're going to live there, you're going to have success.
So a big pitch here for Catanella. And a chopper over to third, across the diamond, in time, and Catanella and the Lions are out of the inning here in the 4th. So no runs, no hits. We're through 4. Molloy College 2, St. Thomas Aquinas nothing. We'll be back. Keep it here on the East Coast Conference Network.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
So moving along to the top of the 5th inning, Molloy trying to get this game under their belt and force a deciding game. An NCAA tournament bid is on the line for the Lions, for St. Thomas Aquinas. Probably will be in regardless. They're a number 3 team in the Northeast, but they would like to raise the banner of the East Coast Conference Championship.
At this point, that's what it's all about, right? Picking up those accolades, padding the resume for this 2018 team. This is a stacked team that, again, ranked 3rd entering the week in the East region, likely going to be in. So tough to keep the focus and not think forward to that East regional tournament. But again, to this point in the tournament, Stack has, and right now it's not a lack of focus that's doing him in. It's a surplus of Anthony Catanella, who has just been terrific on the mound for Molloy.
So that'll bring up for Molloy.
Leading off the line, second baseman number 7, Jack McCarty.
Jack McCarty. Jack McCarty hit by a pitch in the first. And out of first in the third inning. So square to bunt. So that was the 66th pitch of the game for Tyler Petain. A ball taken up high, 1-1 the count to McCarty.
Coach Muscat hasn't been too prone to push his pitchers in terms of their pitch count over the course of the tournament. So, again, at 67, approaching 70 pitches, curious to see how deep he goes.
And coming in hard, sliding on the turf, making the play was Giovanni Dingkong, and showing he could do more than just hit. And we've been talking about the wind blowing in and how much these outfielders have had to cover real estate out there.
And that ball was going away and away, as you'll see it up on your screen here. That's a breaking ball down and in. And again, that ball moving away and in, Dingkong staying with it. We talked about it in the open. His athleticism. He's a guy who can go out and pick it, and we've seen him do it a few times this tournament.
And that'll bring up Angelo Nevada, 0 for 2 on the game. And they went right back. They got him on the strikeout looking back in the third inning on that inside pitch. And they went right back to it. Flew out to left field in the first. And a big swing to the outside part of the plate. So 1-1 to Angelo Novetta.
Do have the full shift back on him. Here the shortstop. Pena playing on the right side of the second base bag. Skrelja over in the shortstop position.
And ball going out of play. So 1-2 the count.
And Nevetta's such a veteran hitter, such a pro hitter out there. Be curious to see if he can make the adjustment and try to slap that ball the other way, maybe poke a single into left field. We saw him fly one out to left in the first inning, so definitely has the ability to take that ball the other way.
So here's the pitch. And it'll step out. So Petain, 1-2 to Nevada. And ball down low, off the foot. So we'll keep it here.
Went off the foot and came back up and might have hit him in the arm, or looked like almost under the arm there. A really weird ricochet. And I don't want to say Nevada lucky, but could have come up and nicked him in the face. It looked like it went straight up. So a little lucky that it didn't come all the way up there.
That's one of the things that happen when you play on a soft turf, you know, especially we talk about the sponge. It becomes a trampoline effect. And, you know, like I said, one of the advantages, you rarely have rainouts in games like this, on fields like this. So 1-2 the count. And that's a fly ball, and underneath it is Maizano. So 2 away for the Lions.
Maizano trying to locate that ball, stagger and get around. Again, the second time we've seen him take the ball the other way. So the outfield definitely was shifted towards the pull side. I gotta wonder if maybe they'll make an adjustment there after seeing those 2 fly balls out to left from those pitches down in the zone.
So that'll bring up the ECC Freshman of the Year, Matt Overton. And he's 0 for 1. Fly out to center in the first. Walked in the third. And the ball hit out of play. So Petain has settled in. Only 3 hits in the game. Molloy, 42 hits yesterday, 21 in the first game against Bridgeport, 21 in the second game against LIU Post, and 2 thus far through 4 against St. Thomas Aquinas. And a big swing, 1-2 to Overton.
Again, the only time that Patane has run into troubles when he started to fall behind counts in that second inning. Ever since, and when you allow Molloy to walk, they're going to come back and get you for runs. When he's in control, Patane has been able to shut down these Molloy bats.
So here's Patane. And back the other way, down the left field, out of play. So Molloy lost 4-0 to LIU Post in the opening day. Then came back 13-4 against Bridgeport and 11-4 against LIU Post. So big day yesterday, and all down in the dirt, 2-2. And and who we have not seen through this tournament is Sean Klotch, and he's now the single season save leader for Molloy. He's been a dominant 1-inning, 2-inning type pitcher, who can come in and really shut you down. Second team all conference. And they get him on the outside part of the plate. So another strikeout for Patane. And Stack is out of the inning. We move to the bottom half of the fifth. Stack coming to the plate. They trail by 2.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
So on a cool day here in Uniondale, and looking over, people are in blankets, heavy jackets. May 12th. Just hard to believe. We went from winter right to summer and back to winter again.
I just want baseball season, baseball weather to show up. It's right. I want 70s and sunny on a consistent basis. Instead, I'm stuck sitting here in a sweater. I want to be able to rock the long sleeve or the short sleeves, roll up the sleeves. Instead, that's not the case.
I knew I wasn't going to retire the gloves yet, and I kept the gloves. I'm wearing the winter gloves today.
I saw you scrambling for them in the third or fourth inning there. I was going to say, okay, we've transported back to January.
So, great job by my statistician, Courtney Green, getting me all these big numbers that you hear. So St. Thomas Aquinas to bring up Morgan, Mesano, and LaGruda. So Michael Morgan, 0 for 1 on the day, flied out to center field, back in the second inning. And a cold strike to the outside part of the plate, and we spoke about it a couple innings now. Catanella doing a really nice job getting ahead, getting that first strike down. It's a ground ball. Nevada, slow bouncer. He'll take it himself. And 1 away for the Lions.
And that's what it's been. Weak contact, early 0-1, 1-2 counts. And, again, you were talking a little bit about Sean Klotch, the reliever that we haven't seen for Molloy in this tournament, and that's really just because the situation hasn't called for it. When Molloy has had leads, they've been big leads, and they trailed in that game against Varela and LIU Post from the word go, basically, so he just hasn't had a chance. He'll be nice and fresh and ready to go if Molloy can hang on in this one, or if Catanella runs into a jam later on.
So Anthony Mazzano, 0 for 1, grounder to second. And the breaking ball. And I'll tell you, both pitchers have seemed to have trouble getting that inside breaking ball down. They a couple hit batters by both pitchers. It's becoming a tough pitch. When you hold that breaking ball, you're off seam, so you're not getting that good grip on it.
And that's a tough pitch to locate here right now. I'm working with much room on the inside part of the plate, and so you will see that it slips out of the hand every once in a while. Again, trying to go front door with it.
So the first hit batter for Catanella, and that'll bring up Kyle LaGruda. Freshman out of Comac, struck out. Back in the second inning.
Interesting to see LaGruda in for this one. Molloy not exactly a team that will run a ton on the bases, and LaGruda was mostly there for his defense yesterday that he showed off early on in the ball game.
So Maizano with some speed over there at first base. So Catanello, keep an eye on him. Back again. Catanello has quick feet on there on the mound. A little pickoff play. So 1-0 the count. Another foul ball off the foot. We'll keep it here, 1-1.
Chris Ruiz, the regular stat catcher, got the start in the first game. He's a 301 hitter, 406 on base. So again, thought we might see him this afternoon, but Lagretta getting the shot after showing his capabilities in the game against Post yesterday.
So 1-1 the count to Lagretta. And a soft grounder foul. So once again, Catanella gets ahead.
And I'll tell you, Maizano was going with that pitch. He just flies from base to base. He hit a ball to the gap yesterday, and by the time it landed, it looked like he was already on second base heading for third. It was an easy stand-up triple. He is just a classic outfield speedster.
So Anthony Catanella. And timeout.
Another late time call.
That's the second time they called timeout while Catanella was in his motion.
And it's going to be annoying for Catanella, too. He made another good pitch there on the time call. He kind of held the glove and was like, come on.
And you got to watch out for injuries, too. You know, you have to continue your motion. You don't want to pull it back. And here's the pitch, and fouled off on the right side. Catanella has 2 strikeouts.
And it also shows right, if it shows Lagretta his fastball, it shows it on the outside corner. If he wanted to maybe sequence that with the slider or something, it kind of takes that potential away from him after he sees it on a pitch that just doesn't count.
So we'll do it again, 1-2 the count. Soft grounder over the first, cross the diamond, not in time. So a nice play by Jake McCarthy. Just couldn't get the ball. It was just hit too soft. But great effort by McCarthy.
And that's a tough play, too, coming in on it. I think he fielded it on the forehand. Thought for a second about maybe going to second, but with that speed of Maizano, had no chance. And a good stretch. Nevada did all he could trying to keep his foot on the bag, but again, just a tough play all around.
So Maizano down at second. Lagretta at first. 1 away for Juan Adorno. Grounded out to short in the 3rd inning.
It almost looked like a balk move there from Catanella. He kind of took the ball out of his glove before he made that turn towards second base. A bit of a weird-looking pickoff, or at least glance over there at Maizano.
And a nice strike to the outside part of the plate. So Catanella's been in this jam before and managed to get himself out of it. Out of the jam in the 1st inning with 1 away, had first and second. And same position here. And he managed to be able to get a strikeout and a fly ball. Let's see what Catanella can do here. And that ball's popped up. Nevada, a long way to go to the fence and out of play.
And that right there, that was the wind taking that one. It's died down a little bit, but still gusting around down towards right field. Probably took that one out of play for Nevada.
Everything is blowing. It's blowing in and to the right side. I feel it because my left ear is cold and my right ear is warm, so that's how I can always tell. So an 0-2 count to Adorno. And we'll make it 1-2.
Stack looking to get Adorno going here. A 280 hitter on the year, but 0 for 6 so far in the tournament. A couple strikeouts in the game against Post. This will be a good time to break out.
So 71 pitches now for Catanella. So big pitch coming up here. First and second, one away. St. Thomas Aquinas looking to make something happen and get back into this ball game. Throw down to second, not in time.
And interesting, we had seen Messina darting behind Maizano there on second base, trying to get him to dart back, and taking that pickoff thrower was McCarty, the second baseman, so trying to fool the runner on second.
So big lead by LaGruda down at second. Here's the pitch. Soft grounder, foul. Those are the kind of ones you always worry about, those soft hits. You know, the third base, first base playing deep. And
yeah, with McCarthy playing as back as he was, there was going to be no way he was going to be able to field that ball and make the throw to first base. So kind of a sigh of relief there from Catanella, to avoid another weak contact single.
So a battle brewing. 1-2 the count. And Adorno will continue to fight him off.
That was a breaking ball. He just spoiled there down in the zone. A good one. Adorno right on it. This is the batter that Catanella wants. Top of the order due up next. So I imagine he'll be going after the 9-hitter Adorno here.
Lucchese 1 for 2 on the game, so Catanella wants this out here. And hits him in the elbow, and that will load up the bases for Nicholas Lucchese.
Well, and Adorno bravely rocking the no sleeves out there today. That is going to sting. I don't know if it was a breaking pitch or a fastball. Either way, that's going to hurt, hitting ball on skin contact. And now Catanella has himself a bit of a jam to work out of here.
And we'll get a meeting at the mound. So bases loaded, 1 out. This is the toughest jam the Lions have had to face this game. So 2 hit batters in this inning. Maizano and Adorno. So both pitchers had a couple hit batters, and we talked about the cold hands, and you lose a little bit of the control. So that's 4 hit batters in this game.
And I wonder, with the top of the order due up here, if Coach Fucarino would be at all inclined to maybe get up Sean Klotch, the reliever that we haven't seen, his best weapon out of that bullpen, right? This could be maybe a turning point in the ball game here. A 2-0 game, bases loaded, top of the order up. I don't know, another couple base runners, and I would be inclined to at least consider getting my best weapon in the bullpen going.
Well, a lot of game left here to go. We still are only in the bottom half of the 5th. This is the biggest threat thus far for St. Thomas Aquinas. And Lucchese 1 for 2 with a single. Caught stealing back in the 3rd inning. So Nicholas Lucchese. Pitching out of the stretch is Catanella. Ball taken upstairs.
Infield looks like wants the double play. The corner's pinched in, trying to cut down the runner at home.
And a cold strike. So Molloy playing infield double play depth. Ground ball expected to come home. Big lead at 3rd from Maizano. Good stop there from Wall. Maizano was halfway down the line.
I was just going to say the cat and mouse game between those two has been fun to watch through Maizano's trips on the base paths. At second base, it was a dancing act between Messina and Maizano. Now he's dashing down, trying to draw Catanella's attention away from the batter.
So 2-1 the count. And that's a base hit to left. Maizano comes in to score. Around comes LaGruda, and he'll hold up. So a base hit RBI for Lucchese, his second one of the game.
Well, and probably wise to hold LaGruda on third there. We're going to look at the replay here. Inside part of the plate, and Lucchese not trying to do too much with it. Just dunks it out in front of Overton out there in left, who fired a strike into the cutoff, man. A good throw in. And again, with the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up, you don't want to run yourself out of a rally here.
So the second hit of the game for Nicholas Lucchese, the sophomore out of North Shore High School. Maizano comes in to score. LaGruda will move over to third. Adorno down to second.
A conversation there with Pena, with the third base coach. Got to wonder is some sort of squeeze or what have you kind of play might be on here.
So Joseph Pena, he's 0 for 1. Walked in the first, flied out to center in the third, and a called strike. So Catanella trying to work his way out of this one. It's a 2-1 lead for Molloy. Both teams 3 hits on the game. And the ball upstairs, 1-1.
Pena going to be a tough guy to double up, but those middle infielders still playing back, don't want a ball to sneak by him and allow the go-ahead run to score as well.
So Pena, first-team All-ECC performer, takes the ball to the outside part of the plate, 2-1.
And obviously know where to put him here, but with Ding Kong on deck, this is the guy you probably want to go after.
Catanella to deal. And a hard hit foul on the right side, so 2-2 the count. So Joseph Pena getting those major league looks. We're going to play at the next level, and here's the pitch. Ball taken upstairs. The count is full. So with 1 out, a walk will tie the ball game. So big pitch coming up here for Anthony Catanella. He's pitched so well throughout this game. So out of the stretch. And ball 4, and this ball game is tied, and Catanella cannot believe it. And he's coming down to home plate to talk to the home plate umpire.
Oh, man, I mean, that is a... Yeesh. And there's now the field umpire waving him back onto the mound. I cannot fault Anthony Catanella there. That looked like a pitch that just has to be called. It's up in the zone, sure, but... That's a pitch in the strike zone. That's got to be called for a strike there.
Well, you know, if the pitches have been called there all game long, so either way, we are tied at 2 with the most dangerous hitter in the East Coast Conference, Giovanni Ding Kong. He walked in the first, flew out to left, and here's a ground ball to short. Fielded over to second in time, but another run comes in, and St. Thomas Aquinas takes a 3-2 lead.
Well, just getting the job done there. Ding Kong putting the ball in play. We talked about his proneness to strike out. Not trying to do too much with that ball. As you got to look at it on the replay, ball in the outer part of the plate. Just got the bat on it. Good pick that there at second base by McCarty to make sure they did get the 1 out. But still not out of the woods yet with Squirrel just striding in.
So Anthony Skrelja coming up 0 for 2. Struck out in the first. Pop up to second in the fourth. So Catanella trying to get out of this. It's a 3-2 St. Thomas Aquinas lead. So 3 runs on 2 hits for St. Thomas Aquinas. And don't forget those 2-hit batters always prove to be crucial. And a big swing, 1-1 the count. So Lucchese at third, Ding Kong at first. And a ball called strike, 1-2.
Late call there from the home plate umpire, too. I thought he was going to wave that one outside as well.
And the sarcastic cheers coming over. So 1-2 the count. Ding Kong going on the pitch. And wow. It looked like the same pitch, but this time not. And you could just see the frustration in Catanella circling around the mound.
Well, they gave him the 360 twirl. Now has to step behind the mound and kind of regather himself. He desperately wanted that pitch. And smart by Angelo DeBetta, the senior first baseman, to go over and try to calm him down. I mean, again, he's hitting his spots. And he's just not getting the calls.
Great job by Nevada. That's the senior leadership that you want to have in your captain. So a big pitch coming up here, 2-2. And in the dirt, and the count is full. So second and third, 2 away. Full count for Skrelja. So first base unoccupied. Here's Catanella. And that's a fly ball incoming. Underneath it and out of the inning. But not before St. Thomas Aquinas puts 3 on the board on 2 hits. 2 hit batters and a walk. We move to the top of the 6th. 3-2 St. Thomas Aquinas.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
So we're back here in Uniondale. So St. Thomas Aquinas with a big inning, 3 runs. They take the lead here in the East Coast Conference Baseball Championship. So for Molloy, that'll bring up Leardom, Hogan, and Wall.
And Patain now is staked with the lead. Again, I don't know about how important momentum necessarily is, if we can really quantify it, but this is the time for a shutdown inning if there ever was one, with the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up. And again, this is a Molloy lineup that's good from 1 to 9, so any of these hitters are dangerous. Leardom, Hogan, and Wall have started rallies before for the Lions, so this is a big-time inning for Patain right here.
So a couple questionable calls lead to a few walks, and it's always hard to tell. We're not the ones behind the plate and watching. We got to give the respect to the umpires, and they're the ones making the call. Each ump has their own zone, and we're just the armchair umpires. And
at the same time, I will say it is very hard to dart the black, and it would be nice if we can get the calls when we do.
So nice play, a hard hit ball by Leardom.
And that's Skrelja making the play down there again. We saw a similar line shot that he in the game yesterday that he just managed to get a glove on. It was runners on and 2 outs. He put the glove on it, managed to keep it on the infield and prevent runs from scoring. He's been great down there on defense all tournament long.
So first pitch called outside part of the plate, Sean Hogan. Sean Hogan 0 for 1 with a walk back in the second inning. So Molloy looking to try to get something started here. So 0-2 the count to Hogan. And a soft foul ball. You know, it's so funny. You look at pitchers, and once your team gets your lead, they have a whole different mentality on the mound. It's the adrenaline starts to kick in, and but once again, it is only a one-run lead, and keep in mind that two of the 4 games they played this year were a one-run game. So these two teams met 4 times, 9-8, 6-4, 6-5, and 10-4, all going to St. Thomas Aquinas. 2 down here, 2 up in Spark Hill. And that's a ground ball to short, over to first, and 2 away.
Nice play there from Pena, but that at-bat right there shows you why Sean Hogan is as good a hitter as he is. You saw an 0-2 changeup that he just kind of flicked the bat at, fouled it off towards the Molloy dugout. Fastball, again, didn't try to do too much with it. Just sent it down the third base side. And again, doesn't get a hit, but hit the ball hard.
And ever since the second inning, go back to the base hit for Jake McCarthy and Elijah Leardon back in the second. Molloy has not had a hit since that second inning. So 2 away and 0-1 the count. And Michael Wall will head down to first base. Another hit batter. That's the 3rd hit batter today for Tyler Patain.
And I'm no lip reader, but it looked like Patain was saying to the home plate umpire that he's got to get out of the way. He's got to try to make an effort to avoid that fastball in on the hands. And he might have a bit of a gripe there, but again, tough to react to it, but didn't really look like a ton of action there in terms of moving away.
Yeah, I mean, anytime something's coming at you 85, 90 miles an hour, you don't have a lot of time to react. And so, that's always the big gripe. You get hit by a pitch, someone says, hey, they didn't get out of the way. But needless to say, the tying run sits at first base for Jake McCarthy. And, he struck out in the 4th and had the RBI single in the last hit, as we just spoke about, back in the second inning. So Michael Wall, his second time today, he was hit by a pitch.
That's a painful 0 for 0 right now with the sac bunt back in the second inning, and so nothing really to show for it besides a few points up in the on-base percentage. And you talk about Patain, the no hits allowed there since the second inning. Again, just the ability to get ahead in the count. Nothing in 1, nothing in 2, 1 and 2. It's those big early pitches that establish an at-bat. Every at-bat, every pitch is a battle. Looks like we're having a bit of some confusion here after that last ball. Thought maybe it hit the bat of Jake McCarthy.
So Coach Scott Muscat comes out to get some clarification.
I don't know what the count is. I don't know if they did rule it a foul ball or if we are calling that ball 1 and saying that it didn't hit anything. I think scoreboard says 1-1.
1-1 the count, 2 outs. Michael Wall standing at first as the tying run. And a ball called on the inside part of the plate. Strike, 1-2 the count.
I guess that answers our question there. He wasn't punched out on that pitch, so it was indeed a ball that missed the zone.
So 1-2 the count. Ball upstairs, out of play.
And we haven't seen it much since the early goings, but let's see if Patain will try to go back to that inside breaking pitch there. Starts him with a fastball up and in, then maybe tries to counter that, tunnel it a little bit with a breaking ball on the inside part of the dish.
So 2 away. Wall with the lead off first. And McCarthy gets underneath it. That ball's going to stay in the infield. A lot of wind up there, but makes the play is Bobby Morse. And St. Thomas Aquinas gets out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. We move to the bottom half of the 6th. St. Thomas Aquinas 3, Molloy 2. We'll be back on the East Coast Conference Network.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
Welcome back to Uniondale, New York. So, did you ever think about ordering your ECC Baseball Championship gear? Don't miss out. It's real easy to do. Here's how. Go to eccsports.org/information/baseball shirts 2018. Just input your information, select your size and quantities, submit your credit card information on our secure site, and that's it. It's that simple. Shirts are long sleeve, 100% cotton t-shirts are available in adult men's sizes ranging from small to XXL. All are priced at $25, and that includes shipping. All orders must be received by Friday, May 18th. So for those of you who have not went out or are late getting your Mother's Day gifts, great opportunity now to order it. You won't have it for Mother's Day, but take a picture of it on the website and put it in the card and show them what is on its way.
I can't imagine Mom's going to be too happy about that, too, if her gift comes next Saturday. But I guess it's a thought that counts.
So we move to the bottom of the 6th inning. And a ground ball over to third and one quick out away.
Oh, that was an easy peasy big hop there for MacArthur. We saw him get a ton of action over there at third base in Molloy's first game against Post, and made a few good plays, made a few not so good plays, but overall, he looked solid down there at the hot corner.
So that'll bring up Michael Morgan, 0 for 2. Fly out to center. Fly out to first base. So St. Thomas Aquinas 3 hits on the game. Big hit last inning and putting up all 3 of their runs in the 5th. So 1-1 the count. This time the curveball gets inside and called strike. So 1-2 the count.
Good backdoor breaker there from Catanella. We didn't see Morgan in the lineup in Stack's game yesterday against the lefty Noah Lorenzo of LIU Post. They decided to roll the righty Maizano.
And underneath it and out of play. We'll keep it here. And gets him on the outside part of the plate. And the sarcasm crowd, you can hear it in their claps.
And I mean, I think Anthony Catanella just got the call that he wanted back there in that 5th inning right there. That was I don't know if it was a makeup call, but that pitch looked like less of a strike than some of the strikes he threw in that 5th inning. I'm sure Catanella will take it, but maybe too little too late from the home plate ump.
Well, 3 strikeouts on the game for Catanella. Looking to get his team back up to the plate. Still a long way to go, trailing by 1. And that'll bring up Anthony Maizano. Hit by the pitch back in the 5th. And that got things started back in that 5th inning. Michael Morgan, they had the 1 out. Michael Morgan, Maizano got hit by the pitch, and then the floodgates open. So big play, and this is a fly ball. Should be underneath it. And eats it up. So McCarty ends the inning for the Molloy Lions. And they come up to the plate. We are through 6. Great game here in the East Coast Conference Baseball Championship. St. Thomas Aquinas 3, Molloy 2. We'll be back.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
I try to make my students be innovators because I try to make them think outside the box.
In classes, Stack really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Hope to see you soon.
So we move to the top of the 7th inning, and what a game we have going here. You know, on a day that weather made a lot of things uncertain. Game only started about 40 minutes late. Things have cleared up here in Uniondale. Still very overcast and cloudy. A bit cool. So we look at the stat line. 3 hits apiece. 3 runs on 3 hits. 4 Stack, 2 runs on 3 hits for Molloy. And that's going to bring Messina and the top of the order coming up for the Lions.
And you know, it's been an oddly similar game for both of these pitchers, too. They have both been really efficient, really great, and the only thing that's done them in is one inning where they kind of just lost command of their breaking pitches for a second. Let us hit batsmen some walks. For Patena was the 2nd inning, and for Catanella was the 5th. And again, it just goes to show the limited amount of hits, how dominant they've been.
And you talk about efficiency. How about Patane? 26 batters he's faced. 18 first pitch strikes. You don't get any more efficient than that. And a ground ball to short, bouncing, throwing it over to first in time. So 1 pitch, 1 out, retires Messina.
And that'll do as well, the weak ground balls that we've seen all day, too. It's just been, again, finding the corners of the zone and getting hitters to swing over pitches, keep them guessing. And Patana's been doing it well all day long.
And that'll bring up the leadoff. Jake Salzman, 0 for 3 on the afternoon thus far. And we talk about those first pitch strikes. Gets them on a breaking ball.
That was a good one, too. Started at Salzman and bent back over the outside corner.
And just got underneath that one. So quickly 0-2. So That has been able to work from ahead ever since that 2nd inning. And maintained 3 strikeouts on the game.
He wanted that 0-2 pitch there. Was starting his little strut behind the mound. I think that one missed down and inside. A good call from the home plate ump.
So 1-2 the pitch. And just got underneath it. That'll stay in the infield. Incoming is Pena. And Pena nearly came to the back to the pitcher's mound to make that play. And that just goes to show you the wind that they're dealing with here in Uniondale.
And good job by Pena to take charge there, too. You heard him calling, I got it all the way. That's a tough ball near the mound for all the infielders converging and the senior shortstop making the call and the catch.
So that'll bring up Jack McCarty 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch in the 1st inning. And once again, Patane just continues with that first pitch dominance. And you could tell he thought about making that call, but just inside.
I mean, he flinched. I have to imagine a home plate umpire should go with his instinct on that one. He stopped himself from calling it a strike. Very odd.
Oh, now he threw the hook on that one. That was a tough pitch. So 1-2 the count. Those are the pitches that freeze batters. So Jack McCarty, 1-2 the count, 2 away. Patane, and a ground ball over to third, over to first, in time, and retires the side. So a quick inning for Tyler Patane. Sits down the Molloy Lions. So we move to the bottom half of the 7th. Molloy trails 3-2 here on the East Coast Conference Network.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II. where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning, the 7th inning stretch. Here at the ECC Network Mitchell Athletic Complex, I'm Scott Green alongside Sean Okula. And now, Sean, this is where I sing the national, I sing the Take Me Out to the Ball game for everyone out there.
Great.
Although I don't think I want to do that to
No, I was going to say, go right ahead. Everyone's waiting right now. 'Cause there's the PA box is right up there. We're waiting for you to give us a little Harry Carey kind of lead. Let's get some runs.
I taught Harry Carey everything he knows.
I'll tell you, the raspiness of my voice from calling 3 games yesterday, it kind of helps with my Harry Carey impression a little bit. So that's one advantage of a lack of hydration when talking about baseball for hours on end.
Well, for all the young kids out there and people watching the game, they need to go on the Google and see who Harry Carey is. You know,
you have to know Harry Carey if you're watching baseball. I mean, come on, it's a staple.
So we move to the bottom half of the 7th inning, and St. Thomas Aquinas trying to add some insurance, and they're going to bring up LaGruda, Adorno, and Lucchese. So Catanella remains in the game for the Lions, and that's a hard hit, base hit to left. One pitch, base hit, and LaGruda's on with a leadoff single.
Oh, we talked about LaGruda's defense behind the plate, but he can hit too. The freshman catcher, 310 batting average, 412 on base entering the day. So, again, not just the glove.
So the second hit of the game for Kyle LaGruda, 2 for 3 on the afternoon.
Meeting at the mound here, I don't know if there's anyone up in the Molloy bullpen. We don't really have much of a view down the left field line there, but it doesn't look like any signal's been made. So, again, Catanella at least being given this 7th inning. Now we are going to get the signal.
And that will wrap it up for Anthony Catanella. Nice job, and he's going to get the applause, and the team will come out and greet him, and just a tremendous job he has done today. And, boy, it just sky's the limit, unlimited ceiling for this kid who just put in 4 years at Molloy from Middle Village. And we'll take a look at our new pitcher.
Looks like it's going to be Sean Klotch, the lefty coming in that we were talking about earlier. The senior big-time closer will get the chance to at least limit the damage here. Again, not a ton of lefties in the stack lineup, so we're not going to see any lefty-on-lefty matchups. But, again, he has been the go-to guy out of the bullpen for Coach Fucarino, making the appearance here in not a save situation, but definitely a shutdown kind of spot, making his 28th appearance on the season. Pitched in 29 innings to a 2.48 ERA, struck out 29 and walked just 9. So he is the best of the best in terms of Fucarino's bullpen.
Well, it's still a 1-run game. This is wide open still, and still 2.5 innings left to go. Sean Klotch set the single-season record for saves this year, 9. So just an outstanding job for the lefty.
And again, I mean, not a traditional save situation, but in a do-or-die kind of game, you can't allow another run to score. The way Batain's been pitching is just another run cannot cross the plate. So you go to your fresh arm as we approach the, 4th time through the order for a stack. So you need to get your best arm in there.
29 strikeouts in 29 innings pitched. So he's been getting it done for the Lions. Now, I know the board is showing 3 hits for Molloy and showing only 2 hits. Showing Leardham's hit back in the 2nd and McCarthy's hit back in the 2nd, and since then they've been held hitless.
Yeah, it's been the Tyler Bertain show, and Again, now the bullpen will have to take it from Molloy.
So the leadoff hit by LaGruda. Ground ball, soft grounder, gonna be a tough play, and he beats it out.
That's an excellent push bunt from Juan Adorno, the third baseman, crashing on the square attempt, and he sees a hole between the pitcher and the first baseman, Nevada. Again, nothing that anyone could do there. Nevada did all he could, tried to flip it to Clutchy as we're going to look at the replay here. Look, fastball inside part of the plate. He just pushes it up that first base line. Nevada has to go and field it, and Clutchy's not going to beat him there.
Well, that becomes the race. So the pitcher, Clutchy, to Adorno. And so first and second, two leadoff singles for St. Thomas Aquinas and Nicholas Lucchese. Two hits on the afternoon. A hit back in the third and a hit in the fifth. So the hot-hitting Lucchese to the plate. And ball taken to the outside part of the plate.
Corner's pinched in, too. I can't imagine the way Lucchese has been swinging the bat that he's going to be bunting here. Try to keep a big inning in play for the Spartans.
So an opportunity for St. Thomas Aquinas to add some insurance and extend the lead. Their fifth hit of the game, and that's a high fly ball. Shallow, leered him in. And he'll make the play, and no one will advance. So a big pitch for Clutchy there.
Well, he would have been better off bunting, I suppose, and unproductive out as Lucchese doesn't get it quite deep enough. Hit it to the right part of the right side of the field, but again, didn't get it deep enough for LaGruda to tag on second. He doesn't have much speed, so he wasn't going anywhere.
And that'll bring up Joseph Pena. 0 for 1, 2 walks. So Pena has 4 walks in the tournament so far.
He's a switch hitter. We're seeing him from the right side for the first time today. Got a little bit of a look at that against Noah Lorenzo and LIU Post in yesterday afternoon's game. Doesn't appear to have any sort of weak side, so.
So Clutch to deal to Pena. Clutch needs an out here. 1 away, 1-0 the pitch. And a strike call to the outside part of the plate, 1-1.
Curious now, Nevada playing behind the runner on first Adorno, which, again, traditionally would make sense now with 1 out. Be surprised to see Pena laying down a sac bunt, but also gives him room to try maybe a push one up that first base side and use that speed of his to beat out an infield hit.
So big lead for LaGruda and Adorno. And foul back, 1-2 the count. LaGruda at second, Adorno at first. Good game going on here on Championship Saturday. Mother's Day weekend here on Long Island.
No one holding LaGruda down there on second base, so just a peek by the lefty.
So here's the pitch by Clutch. And foul ball will keep it here.
Tried to come in with the fastball, it looked like there, so interesting to see how he counters. It doesn't look like he has a crazy sharp breaking pitch, more of the loopy variety, so maybe he'll try to bury it at the back foot of Pena.
So Joseph Pena, the senior shortstop from Brooklyn, New York. And a foul ball.
Take that back. That looked like a pretty good one right there on the slide piece. Again, headed towards that back foot of Pena. He tried to bury it at the bottom of the zone, but the shortstop battling.
So here's the pitch. Runners with big leads. And a ground ball. Foul ball. And the home plate umpire comes out.
He was the only one on the field with a view of that, too, so that was his call all the way. Very, very close. It looked like it hopped over. If it were fair, it just hopped just over the bag. I don't know. We don't have a great angle from over here. I can't quite tell, but Again, tough call with the ball bouncing over that third base bag.
So 1-2 the count to Pena. Here's the pitch by Klotch. And taken outside, 2-2.
Again, Ding Kong on deck, so you reach the heart of this stack order and nowhere to put anybody.
2-2 the count. And that's a fly ball. Coming on is Overton. And out of play.
Well, just ran out of room down that left field line. Jumping on that fastball was Pena.
So next week begins the NCAA tournament. At this time, unofficial. New Haven expected to potentially host. A lot of connections there to the ECC tournament. Chris Solano, coach of New Haven, used to have all those great years at Dowling. Of all those great Dowling teams. And that ball hit down the right field line and out of play. So Pena is battling. LaGruda down at second, Adorno at first. One away. 3-2 ball game. St. Thomas Aquinas leads. Molloy led up until the fifth inning with 2-0, and 3 runs in the fifth gave St. Thomas Aquinas the lead. And a ground ball the third, going across the diamond to first, and a nice scoop by Nevada.
Well, we talked about Nevada's defensive abilities over there, and he just saved Jake McCarthy of an error. That was a tough play coming in the off-balance throw. He might have had time to set himself, honestly, and fire a stronger throw over there to first base.
Or possibly just going back to third and getting the force out.
He might have to play at second base, too. Yeah. Again, get the easy out, but could have got his lefty out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Giovanni Dingkong. And he's 0 for 2. He had to walk back in the first. And coaching staff will be a meeting at the mound, and they'll discuss how they're going to pitch to Giovanni Dingkong, the East Coast Conference Player of the Year.
I mean, in theory, you could just not pitch to him, too. You can get, with first base open, 2 men out, you could give him the free pass, but then you're facing another big right-hand hitter in Skrelja. So I'll be interested to see how Coach Fucarino chooses to, well, I guess basically pick his poison here.
Well, you think about it, you've held Ding Kong at bay today, and great job by Anthony Catanella, but now he faces Klotch, so this is going to be a little bit different. So Sean Klotch trying to get out of this inning. He's got 2 outs. Second and third. LaGruda at third. Adorno at second. Here's the pitch and a big swing. And gets him swinging down low. 0-1 the count.
Looked like a slider coming down and in on Ding Kong. A good first pitch there. Don't give him that fastball that he wants. He was ready to jump on one and drive it.
So 0-1 to Ding Kong. And a ball fouled back, and Sean Klotch way ahead now. 0-2 the count. I'll tell you what, Sean Klotch can get Ding Kong here. This becomes a momentum, for Molloy to get out of this big jam here in the 7th inning.
Well, this is definitely a chance for Stack to blow it open, or at least pad that lead for Tyler Pertain.
So 0-2 the count. Here's Klotch. Gets him swinging, and Molloy is out of the inning. So 2 hits, no runs, no errors. We move to the top of the 8th. St. Thomas Aquinas with a 3-2 lead here in the East Coast Conference Baseball Championships on the East Coast Conference Network.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
Welcome back to the East Coast Conference Baseball Championships. And a big inning, Sean Klotch comes in the game and gets Molloy out of the jam. And that takes us to the top of the 8th, and we'll have Nevada, Overton, and Leardom. The big meat part of the order for the Molloy Lions. They trailed 3-2. The season is on the line for Molloy. They need to win to force a deciding game. That would come up 30 minutes following this game.
And it looks like they'll be doing battle with a new pitcher here for the Spartans. Number 14, Chris Pinnell, up on the mound, the senior right-hander, who has served as the setup man of sorts for usual closer Angelo Baez. We saw him work a couple innings on Thursday against Bridgeport. Looked really sharp, making his 21st appearance of the year. Pitched to a 2.35 ERA, struck out 35 batters in 30 2/3. So he's another one of those power guys.
And that'll bring up Angelo Nevada. Nevada looking to try to keep his college career going. Potentially could be his last at bat in a Molloy uniform, and he's going to look to try to do something here. He's 0 for 3 today. And a 2-0 count. And the Molloy bench begins to get loud. They want to try to get something going here in the 8th inning. And Angelo with a big swing, 2-1 the count.
Well, this is the chance, too. 3 straight lefties, heart of the lefty order.
And went to the inside part of the plate. They got him earlier in the game, and Nevada remembered that, and he just had a couple laughs with the umpire, and it's a 3-1 count.
I think what Nevada might have been saying, too, he thought that last pitch clipped his elbow guard there. It definitely knocked the Velcro loose.
Joe Fucarino coming to talk to home plate umpire, and they're gonna question this. And, did that ball hit Angelo Nevada?
It definitely knocked off the Velcro. He had to re-Velcro his elbow guard there. I don't know if that could be blown off by the wind of the ball going by, or if it takes some sort of nicking of the elbow to do it. I don't know if either the umpire, I guess the third umpire down there at third base might have had a better look at it, but I guess even at first base, too, you could kind of see that front elbow better than anything.
So the 3 umpires will get together, and they'll have their little conversation. But, the numbers on Chris Pinnell, 6-1 on the season, 2 saves, 30 2/3 innings pitched, 35 Ks with a 2.35 ERA. So a nice year for Pinnell.
Angelo Baez, the usual closer for Stack, was used for 3 innings yesterday. As we get a resolution here, looks like he's gonna stay in.
So the ball did not hit him. So a 3-1 count to Angelo Nevada. And a ground ball hard hit to second. A quick bobble, but in time for out number 1.
Well, you could see a bit of a sigh of relief there from Pinnell. He kind of gave a fist pump as he got that ground ball from Nevada. That's a big out, a big first out there. There's the big bopper that he's able to work through.
Well, that's always a tough out when you got to get Angelo Nevada. And, this St. Thomas Aquinas team was able to get him 0 for 4 today. But now you bring up Matt Overton, the Rookie of the Year, looking to try to get something going here for the Lions. He's 0 for 2 with a walk back in the third. And a cold strike, 1-1 the count.
And here's the thing. Yesterday, especially in the Bridgeport game, it was the top of the Molloy batting order getting things going. Today, top 4, no hits.
And the ball inside, 2-1 the count. And the ball hit foul, 2-2. Molloy trailing by 1. And that's a hard hit ball to left, oncoming, and makes the play is Anthony Mazzano.
Well, that's a tough ball going away from Mazzano. He got a great beat on it. Didn't take a single step back, coming in all the way towards that left field line. Very efficient route. Kind of when the instead of circling in on it, he kind of took the straight line is the most direct route to the ball there, and Mazzano makes a fine play and saves maybe a 2-bagger.
So Elijah Leardom, he's 1 for 3. He had the infield single back in the second inning. One of the 2 hits for Molloy. So a 2-0 count. So all it takes is 1. Sean Hogan on deck. So here's the pitch by Pinnell. A big swing for Leardom. So 2-1 the count.
It's been mostly fastballs, it seems like, since Pinnell has come in the game, going through the heart of the order. Interesting choice.
And a cold strike. Pinnell works very, very quickly. It doesn't take a lot of time. He gets his set, and then he fires. So 2-2 the count, 2 outs, and a hard hit ball up the middle. And Elijah Leardom with a 2-out single to keep things going for Molloy.
Well, that nearly took Pinnell's glove with it. He tried to snap at it and knock it down, but that was just hit way too hard. Another ball over the plate, and Leardom all over it. He's made his mark today, a couple of hits, and so the 8th inning will continue.
So 2 of the 3 hits goes to number 18, and that brings up Sean Hogan, sophomore from East Meadow, looking to try to keep things going here. So 1-0 the count to Sean Hogan. Sean Hogan, a first-team All-ECC performer. He's 0 for 2 with a walk back in the second and a base hit, and that'll be fielded on the infield, Lucchese, and that will retire the sides. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors. We move to the bottom of the 8th. St. Thomas Aquinas 3, Molloy 2. You're watching East Coast Conference Baseball Championship action on the East Coast Conference Network.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Time is running out for Molloy. They'll have their last ups in the 9th. So they need to hold St. Thomas Aquinas here. They trail 3-2. And Scarelja, Morse, and Morgan due up for the Spartans. And Sean Klotch will remain on the mound, the big lefty for Molloy. Done a nice job, got them out of the inning last inning.
And that could have been Stack's chance to really blow this one open, or at least give them an insurmountable advantage over Molloy. It was the top of the order up. Giovanni Ding-Kong, lefty on righty action, and nothing doing for the big bopping right fielder.
So the winner today will represent the East Coast Conference in the NCAA tournament. So Sean Klotch, he will deal to Anthony Scarelja, 0 for 3 on the afternoon. So 5 hits for St. Thomas Aquinas on those 3 runs. Senior out of Bedford Hills, New York. And that's a hard hit ball. That's down the line. That could be extra bases. Down to the corner. Overton, and he will, I was going to say, go in standing. He pretty much walked in standing for a stand-up double.
Well, he put it on cruise control in the last few strides there. They dropping the barrel, going out and getting it. That was a shot down that left field line. We've seen him eat up the lefties in this tournament. First it was Lorenzo yesterday going a yard against post, and now that double has Stack threatening, looking to give Pinnell some insurance.
So 1 for 4 day now with a double for Anthony Scarelja, and that'll bring up Bobby Morse. Senior redshirt out of Comac, 0 for 3 on the day. Ball down in the turf, 1-0 the count.
Still have Morgan, it looks like, out there on deck. Thought we might see a pinch hitter for him to avoid that lefty-on-lefty matchup after he didn't play against the left-handed starter for post yesterday.
So a big lead for Scarelja. That's a high hit ball, playable. And lead him underneath it. Wow, boy, I'll tell you what. Leadham just demonstrated his arm. I mean, he threw a frozen rope from good distance in right field to third base.
It was almost like Messina kind of let it get past him, the cutoff man, to just show off what a strong arm Leardom has out there, right? That was an absolute shot.
So that'll bring up Michael Morgan, the junior from Middle Village, 0 for 3 on the afternoon. So 1 away here in the 8th. A ball taken to the outside part of the plate.
Can't imagine that bunt was put on by Coach Muscat, and there's really no point in sacrificing a runner over to third with 2 men out, so I have to imagine it might be called off.
So 1 away here in the 8th. Back to second. He's in there.
And we've seen Messina dancing behind the runners on second all game long. Had yet to see him sneak behind one and try to slap the tag down. That was the first spin-around throw from a Molloy pitcher.
So Klotch was able to get him out of that inning last inning. You know, he's been behind the count 4 out of the 8 batters. Something Cantanella did really well. And a beautiful pitch to the outside part of the plate.
That's a nasty slider right there, lefty on lefty.
So 1-1 the count. Klotch would like to get Molloy out of this inning and get their last ups there and try to tie this game. Here's the pitch and the bunt back off the pole, 1-2.
Stabbing at it there. I really just don't get the bunt call. I mean, you don't need that runner on third base. Right, you get him over there. There's going to be 2 outs if it's a sacrifice. And you can't get him in with a fly ball. It just seems like kind of giving it out to the other team.
So 1-2 the count to Michael Morgan. And gets him on the outside part of the plate. Second strikeout. So 2 away here in the 8th. And that'll bring up Anthony Mazzano. Anthony Mazzano's 0 for 2. He got things started in the 5th. Oh, he was hit by the pitch. That gave them the lead off. Then Lagruti singled over, and then Adorno was hit by the pitch, and then the base hit by Nicholas Lucchese kind of blew things open and give Stack that 3-2 lead back in the 5th inning.
That last pitch, too, from Klotch was just unfair. You go slider after slider after slider, and then you throw a fastball, knees and black away. That's just, what are you supposed to do with that besides spit on it, even with 2 strikes?
So that'll bring up Maizano. So 2 outs. And a little flare. And Nevada underneath it, and Molloy is out of the inning. So another great job by Sean Klotch. And that'll do it through 8. We move to the 9th. Molloy College down to their last 3 outs. Can they tie it up or go ahead? We'll find out when we return. They trail 3-2 on the East Coast Conference Network.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Welcome back to Uniondale. What a game we've had, but it all comes down to this. We come down to the 9th inning. Molloy trailing by 3 in need of a run. And they're going to send up this inning Wall, McCarthy, and Messina. Wall hit by a pitch twice in this game. Had a sac fly. Sacrifice bunt, actually.
Well, we saw Pennell able to get the weak contact that Tyler Patane started with his start, and Pennell picking up right where he left off. This is the formula the Spartans wanted. Patane to Pennell. Let's see if they can finish it out.
So Michael Wall hit by a pitch twice. Sack in the second and 1-0 the count. So this is the rally Molloy is looking for. And 2-0 the count. Michael Wall, Jr. out of Massapequa. And the Molloy bench gets very active. And he almost took that one off the ground and almost took out the first base coach. Hard hit ball.
Had to do a little dance. That one kept slicing towards the coach's box. Ended up down by, looked like the staff dugout. So no casualties. We are all okay.
So 2-1, make it 2-2 the count. So Molloy in need of a run to keep this game going and fights off another one. So we'll keep it here at 2-2. So Molloy needs to get the rally caps going. So here's the pitch by Pennell. And a ground ball up the middle. Base hit leadoff for Michael Wall and keeps Molloy's hopes alive.
Well, just didn't try to do too much with it, knowing that just need base runners right now, do the Lions. And it looks like we'll get a pinch runner for the catcher Wall to try to get some speed on those base paths.
Pitch running for the Lions is number 12, Ryan Hensley.
So we'll get a pinch runner.
Looks like it'll be Ryan Hensley who will do the running. We saw him come in for defense in the morning game yesterday.
So Ryan Hensley at first base. So it's something Molloy needed, and that brings up James Messina. He's 0 for 2, walked in the 4th, and he's going to square the bunt. And he's going to get that one down. And the sacrifice is successful, and that will move Wall over. I'm sorry, that wasn't Messina. That was Jake McCarthy. That'll bring up Messina now.
Well, that was a great job, too, by Morse to make sure he got back to cover the bag. And also Skrelger, who was charging in on the bunt, to make sure he got back to third base to make sure the pinch runner Hensley couldn't advance all the way over there.
So 0 for 2 for Messina for the sophomore. A big at bat for Messina of New Hyde Park. All up top. So Molloy today has left 7 on base. But right now, the big one is Michael Wall, who stands on second. He is the tying run. The ball taken up high, called strike.
And this is where the 3 innings from Angelo Baez yesterday for Stack comes back to bite him. He is the normal closer. He has 11 saves. He would be in this situation.
So 1-1 the count. Ball down low. 2-1. Salzman stands on deck, followed by McCarty.
Pinnell all over the strike zone with his fastball right now. That was set up away, and he missed way inside.
So 2-1 the count. Molloy needs to get Wall across. Ball up top. Foul ball. 2-2.
Looked like he might have came up with a slider there. I think that was another miss from Pinnell. He got lucky. Messina not ready for it, but again, just doesn't look like the righty has that sharp stuff that we saw in his first inning of work.
So James Messina, 1 away, 2-2 the count, man on second. And he fights it off. So the Molloy crowd comes alive. So Wall at second. He led off the inning with a base hit, followed by the McCarthy sack and another foul ball.
This is just a great at-bat here from Messina, the number 9 hitter, knowing his role. Just fight, and hope you get a pitch so you can poke over the shortstop's head and tie this ball game up.
So a battle going on. And a ground ball. That'll advance him over to third. And we'll give up the out, so it all comes down to this. So Michael Wall stands at third. He is the tying run for this game and season to continue. And it comes down to Jake Salzman.
I'll talk about your dramatics here. Top of the order coming up. Tying run 90 feet away. Here we go. Buckle up.
So 0 for 4 on the day for Salzman. Molloy down to their last out. And the ball taken to the outside part of the plate. Molloy needs to find a way to get Wall, who stands at third, across. Here's the pitch. And a ball taken for strike. So 1-1 the count. Sophomore stands in. And 2-1 the count. Ball just to the outside part of the plate.
LaGruda held it there for a second. He wanted that call. It's a big pitch in the at-bat.
So McCarty on deck. Here's the pitch. And a ball to the outside part. 3-1 the count.
He wanted it again, and that was the exact same pitch, trying to hit that outside corner. Don't want to put the go-ahead run on base.
So 3-1 the count. 2 outs. Wall stands at third. And ball 4, and Salzman will head 90 feet. He represents the leading run.
Well, not only Salzman now the tying the go-ahead run on base, he's a guy with plenty of speed over there, leads the team with 15 stolen bags, so a ball in the gap, and we could be looking at this game flipped on its head.
So that brings up Jack McCarty, and he's 0 for 3 in the afternoon, hit by the pitch, back in the first, and St. Thomas Aquinas will talk things over, and out comes the coach, Scott Muscat.
Don't know if there's any action down in that Stack bullpen. I think this is Pinnell's inning to finish, right? He's your guy. He's your big righty arm out of there, and the door swings open. The door swung open down there and kind of teased us all, but doesn't look like we got a call to the bullpen. So, again, mano y mano. McCarty, who was a homer shy of the cycle in the first game yesterday, added a 2 for 5 against Post in the later game. He has been red hot. The top of the order struggled for Molloy today. This is their chance to redeem themselves.
So now it's left up to Jack McCarty. Hensley stands at third. He is the tying run. The crowd is on their feet here in Uniondale. So out of the stretch, and a called strike to McCarty.
There's a big strike one.
So 0-1 the pitch. The ball fouled back. So 0-2 to McCarty. Hensley at third. Salzman at first. Molloy down to their final strike. Here's the pitch. And fouled back again.
That's that tight slider. A tough pitch to fight off there. McCarty clinging for dear life. Looking to battle.
So McCarty trying to keep things alive for the Lions. And he calls timeout.
And wisely there too. Don't let the pitcher getting too much in control. Give him a chance in the AB.
So here's the pitch. 0-2 the count. And that ball's popped up. And it's going to get out of play. So we'll do it again. Hensley stands as the tying run on third. Salzman the leading run at first. 0-2 the count. And we'll make it 1-2.
That's a great block there from Lagruna behind the dish. Slider down and away. That ball gets to the backstop. We're looking at a clean ball game. Great play to keep it a one-run lead.
So the excitement you want in a championship caliber action. Here's the pitch. And that ball's up in the air and underneath it. And that will do it here in Uniondale. St. Thomas Aquinas are your East Coast Conference champions.
St. Thomas Aquinas, the 2018 East Coast Conference champions.
Well, the Kings reign once more, Scott. They are the class of the ECC all year long. 20-plus games above 500. 400 on base percentage. They don't need to care about the numbers. No, this is a team that is going to hit, going to pitch, and they did it with the arms throughout the course of this tournament. Got great starting pitching performances from Moscatello, Cepeda, and today, Tyler Patain with an absolute gem. Gives up the 2 in the second and buckles down to keep Molloy off the board. Congrats to Molloy on a great season and a great battle this afternoon.
So absolutely, congratulations to Coach Joe Fucarino and the Molloy Lions on an amazing season. And to Stack, Scott Muscat, the East Coast Conference champions. They will be representing the East Coast Conference in the NCAA tournament. So St. Thomas Aquinas, they did it in 3 games. They knocked off LIU Post. They knock off Bridgeport. I mean, they come out and they win it again today. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we will have the post-game interview coming up next on the East Coast Conference Network.
Connecticut and the metropolitan New York area to Western New York. From Washington, D.C. to Long Island. The East Coast Conference is committed to excellence in academics, athletics, and service to the community throughout the Northeast region. The East Coast Conference, a proud member of NCAA Division II.
Where you showcase your talents and discover hidden ones. Where you hone your athletic skills. Where you make your mark and friendships that last a lifetime. Where lions roar. Where? Here. Molloy College. The smartest value in higher education.
Well, welcome back to Uniondale and St. Thomas Aquinas. The Spartans, they knock out Molloy College by a score of 3-2 in just a terrific ball game and everything you can expect here in a East Coast Conference Championship action. And you know, it all came down to that fifth inning. Molloy got on top early in the ball game in that second, putting up 2 runs, and then it was the 3-run fifth inning for St. Thomas Aquinas, and that was all the scoring that was needed to go ahead 3-2. So what a terrific game we had here, and great job by both teams, and we await the banner for St. Thomas Aquinas, and what a year they have had. They extend their record to 36-13 under 17th year coach Scott Muscat.
Awards presentation. I'd like to congratulate ECC runner-up Molloy College on a great 2018 season.
So the commissioner of the East Coast Conference, Bob Dranoff, as they present the trophy.
Commissioner Dr. Robert Dranoff, and ECC Baseball Sports Chair and Associate Athletic Director at Molloy College, Mike Grasso.
And Assistant Athletic Director for Molloy College, Mike Grasso.
The 2018 East Coast Conference Baseball Champions are the Spartans of St. Thomas Aquinas College. Would head coach Scott Muscat and the team captains please come up to accept the trophy?
Following the trophy presentation, we'll have the MVP interview along with the coach. So St. Thomas Aquinas will advance to the NCAA tournament, and we'll await to hear their destination. From what we're hearing, University of New Haven could be one of their main hosts, and we'll find out that this evening.
Fans, turn your attention once again to the field for the presentation of the most outstanding player of the tournament trophy. This year's most outstanding player is from St. Thomas Aquinas, Nick Lucchese. So we are set for our post-game interview
We're going to send the ball. We're going to send it down to the field for Sean Okula. He is joined by St. Thomas Aquinas coach Scott Muscat and the MVP of the tournament, Nicholas Lucchese. 2 for 4 today, 2 RBIs, none coming bigger in that 3-run 5th inning that propelled St. Thomas Aquinas to a 3-2 lead. Let's send it down to Sean. Sean?
We're here with tournament most outstanding player, Nick Lucchese. Congratulations on a great for this team. The tournament, a home run, and they went up there.
Trying to get on as being home, best thing. So that's what I'm trying to do.
After last year's wild run, what did you take from last season, going to the NCAA regionals, then to the national tournament? What did you learn? How are you going to apply it this year? Magic celebrations just started now. A lot planned for the evening. Thanks so much. Congratulations again, man. Yeah. And then I think we have Coach Scott Muscat, too, of the Champion Spartans. Coach, what about this team? You know the numbers on the field, the home runs, the pitching, the low ERA. What about this team that the numbers don't show makes them a winner?
Well, what guys don't know is what they do off the field. The community service, number one. We work with an organization called Touching Bases, which is a baseball league for adults with disabilities. They get involved with that in the fall, work every Saturday doing that, and they work at Soup Angels as well. But we talk a lot about they're trying to put some ice on me over here. We talk a lot about the mental game. We talk a lot about character and heart. And
it's a bit cold out, so I'm sure I can't imagine that was very comfortable.
It was not. It was good. That just reminds me of the first 5 weeks of the season. But yeah, we talk about the mental game. We talk about character and doing things the right way. We had a little saying this year called pound the stone, which means just to take care of the process, keep hitting the rock, keep pounding the stone, and the rock will eventually split, and on the baseball field the results will eventually happen. So we just say don't abandon what you're doing the right thing. Even though you don't see the results, they will come eventually. So we talk a lot about that, and yeah, the guys believe in that, and they do the work.
And how can that apply as you look forward now at regional tournament, hopefully a national, back to the World Series? How can you apply that philosophy, just pounding the rock, to the tournament games?
Yeah. So as you go into the regional, we've been there for the last 5 in a row. It's a slippery slope. It is the regional, and whoever wins goes to the national championship. But at the same time, you really can't treat it situation. Whatever got us to the regional, we have to continue to stay in that mode and do that, and not make the game and the games or the tournament bigger than it actually is. And that's worked for us in 2014 and 2017 last year, is just go out and play our game. And if we do what we do and what we do well, then more runs than the other team. And
Coach, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go celebrate with the team.
All right.
Great job. Scott, back over to you.
Well, thanks, Sean, and that will do it here in Uniondale. Congratulations to St. Thomas Aquinas, the 2018 East Coast Conference Baseball Champion. So for our entire East Coast Conference crew and my partner, Sean Okula, I'm Scott Green. We will catch you next time.